Son.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Well, how about that? Up the alley. Quan all the way to third. He might keep going.
Oh, yeah.
It gets by the center fielder. Quan will score. DeLauder's going to keep going. He's digging for three. He'll go in standing with an RBI triple, and it's 1-0 Guardians.
Tristan Peters smokes this one to center field. It is Ewing backing up at the wall. It is gone! Tristan Peters walks it off in the ninth.
Swing and a fly ball, center field, going back is Church, back toward the wall, it is over! Off the batter's eye, onto Ashburn Alley, Kyle Schwarber has just completed an improbable comeback.
On first down, he hands it off to Wright from the big hole, and Wright will take it all the way for a Seahawks touchdown, 69 yards.
Football season underway. Baseball season getting down to the nitty gritty. High school football week 1 in review. College football gets cranked up this weekend. The Cleveland Browns announced the starting quarterback for this year. Today, right around 10 o'clock this morning. It was probably the worst kept secret in town, but there was a faction of fans, a group of fans hoping, wondering, praying that it was going to be their guy, that it was going to be Shedeur Sanders. Nope. Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. The team announced it today, and the circus is off and running. Welcome into the Sam Bourquin Show, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. Going to be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Phone lines are wide open. We expect the phones to be busy. We expect the Q92 Radio YouTube channel chat room to be busy today. We expect the text line to be busy at 330-944-5179. What do you think? We're going to hear from Todd Monken. We're going to hear from Deshaun. We're going to hear from Shedeur during his post-game Saturday. We're going to hear from Daniel Jeremiah. We're going to hear from a bunch of folks today that have the opinion and the look-see of outside the bubble here in Cleveland. We're going to talk to our good buddy Ben Axelrod, Front Office Sports, at 3:35 today. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. This is a situation where Todd Monken had to look at the entire body of work through the practices, through the preseason games, the joint scrimmage against Buffalo, the game Saturday afternoon. And it's like, okay, so we know Dylan Gabriel has absolutely no chance. Taylon Green has absolutely no chance. So it was either going to be Deshaun or it was going to be Shedeur. Shedeur just doesn't have it. Now, he's got the personality, the persona, the vibe, the swag, the fan base. He's got all that. And he's a good dude. He's a good kid. He doesn't get into trouble. He just can't play quarterback at the NFL level. I'm sorry. The Shedeur Sanders folks don't want to hear that. It's true. It's a fact. He can't do it. He can't do it on a consistent basis where you need a guy to be consistent in the NFL for 17 weeks and then, weeks 18, 19, 20 if you really got a special team. Shedeur can't do it. Now, has he been kind of treated a little unfairly? Probably. But that doesn't mean that he's a good NFL quarterback, okay? Deshaun Watson, whew, boy, he's a mess. He's a mess. Inside, outside, on the field, in front of the podium, he is an absolute train wreck. And we got to see that on full exposure Saturday when he chastised the fan. We're going to play that too. We'll go back to Saturday's audio and we'll play that. Todd Monken had his press conference today. We'll hear that. Deshaun had a little presser today. We'll play that for you. But where do you sit? 330-821-1310, Q2, Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Got the chat room open. I want to get your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. You can also get them in on the Sam Bourquin Show page on Facebook, our poll question of the day. Now that the Browns have announced Deshaun as the starting quarterback, how many wins will they have this year? Get those comments in too. But before we even start going into that, I want to talk about the decision that was made, how it was made, why it was made, and what does it mean? What does it mean that Deshaun's the starting quarterback? Folks, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game Saturday or listen to the game Saturday. The place was half empty. I get it. It's a preseason game. Who cares? A lot of Buffalo people there. Shedeur played the first half, and we'll run down those stats for you, and we'll tell you what those actually mean. And by that, what the stats really mean at all in a preseason game. Okay? So we'll get into that. We'll tell you about Deshaun's numbers, look at Shedeur's numbers. But the meltdown that Deshaun had at the podium after the game, not a good look. And then Shedeur was he had an in-game interview with Aditi Kinkwabala during the game, which was a pretty good interview once they got past the first 90 seconds because Shedeur kind of chastised the fans for getting on Deshaun. And here's the deal. And we could make a totally new poll question out of this. We may run it tomorrow. We may just kind of weave it in and out today. But the Browns fans that were there Saturday, or the Browns fans that follow the team and watch the programs and listen to the talk shows and comment and interact with everybody on social media, this, that, and the other, what are they booing Deshaun for? Are they booing him for his off-the-field activities? Are they booing him for the massage situations? Are they booing him for his play on the field? Are they booing him for his bad attitude at the podium? What are they booing him for the most? Or is it the easy way out and say, well, I think it's a combination of all three? The boos were raining down loudly. You could hear them. You could hear them over the radio. You could hear them over the TV. Lots of people posted videos from the stadium that day on their TikTok or X or Facebook, and they just turned their camera on and said, hey, listen to this when Deshaun was announced in the third quarter. And it was boos. It was a lot more boos than you think. Browns had to know that was coming. Deshaun had to know it was coming. But why do you think he gets booed? What's the biggest reason do you think he gets booed for? Was it all the nonsense before he came here and then got drudged up again after he signed that $240 million guaranteed contract? Is it his play on the field? Was it the fact that Deshaun Watson was never, ever, ever going to come here until the Browns said, you know what, we want you so bad, we're willing to set the precedence and give you more money and give you a guaranteed contract like has never been done before. All of a sudden, Deshaun's eyes perked up and said, ooh, he's pretty interested, right? I'm coming to Cleveland. I'm coming to be a Cleveland Brown. How much money is that again? How much, Jimmy? Is that guaranteed? I'll be there. And then all the stuff starts coming out about the accusations, and then the proof of the accusations, and then the denial, and then the paying off all the women. While truly never sincerely apologizing. Like there's been little half-hearted apologies woven in and out of some of his answers to those questions over the last couple of years he's been. But there's never been a full 100% I'm sorry. I think the fans are holding that against him too. A lot of fans never wanted him to begin with. And then all this other stuff started coming out and they couldn't stand him. They said, we don't want you in Cleveland. We don't want you with an orange helmet. Go away. But Jimmy and the boys had other ideas. They wanted to take the what? The big swing. And what did Jimmy Haslam say? Not too long ago, we took a big swing and we missed. So all this kind of comes full circle. You draft Shedeur. I mean, Jimmy drafted Shedeur. Kevin Stefanski didn't want him. I don't even know if Andrew Berry wanted him. Now, they'll lie through their teeth up there because they don't want to look like the bad guy. So we drafted the Shedeur. The Shedeur fans are all excited. Everybody, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. Guy's taking over social media. Got that swag. That's our guy. He can do no wrong. He's going to be a great starting quarterback. He's going to lead us. Then you watch practice. You turn on the tape, turn on the film. You watch the games. Ooh, maybe Shedeur's not going to lead us. And then you look at Deshaun. Oh, my God, he threw another ball at somebody's ankles. Oh, he threw that one 10 feet over his head. He threw that ball out of bounds as soon as he got the shotgun snap. Okay, what are we doing now? What's the quarterback room looking like? Oh, okay. Well, we got Dylan Gabriel. Okay. How'd that work out? What a mess. What an absolute mess. I'm kind of angry, but I'm not like screaming and hollering angry. I want to kind of keep it under control because we just started the show. I don't want to scare anybody if they're just tuning in today for the first time. But what a mess. What a mess. What a way to run an organization. And now, as I have said all along, this team has set themselves up for the tank of all tanks. That's the way it's going to be. Sorry. This is a 3-14 football team. They're not winning 4 games. They're not winning 5. They're not winning 6. They're not winning 7. I don't know how any of you even with a sound mind think that that's possible. And that's with either guy. That's with Deshaun or Shedeur. It's with either guy. It doesn't matter. This team, they lost another guy to an injury, had to put him on the injured list for the year. This is all setting up. And truly, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but this is probably the best thing to happen. Yep, you, me, we're all going to have to endure another horrible season. We're going to have to endure bad offense. We're going to have to endure injuries. We're going to have to endure bad coaching decisions, questionable moves that might lead you to think that they're not really putting their best foot forward. All the while, they're trying to get you to sign up and put a down payment on PSLs for a brand new dome stadium coming to Brook Park in 2029, while all this is swirling around them. The bad PR from Deshaun. The folks that think that Shedeur's just not been treated fairly at all. This is what we have. This is what it is. And we haven't even played. You know what the bad thing is? We haven't even played the last preseason game. That's coming up Thursday. We've only played 2. We've had about, 3.5 weeks of camp? Look at the dumpster fire already. You wonder why you're a 7.5-point dog against Jacksonville? Folks, this team will win 3 games if they're lucky. And I know that's a little less than what I had said earlier. I'd come up with 5 or 6. I looked at the schedule. Now, with what's transpired with this organization the last 2.5, 3 weeks, There's no way in the world this team is winning any more than 3 games. Absolutely no way. It's a mess. Jimmy, Andrew, J-Dub, it's a mess. Deshaun, Shador, it's a mess. It's a mess. The tank is on. It's all set up. You could tell. You knew it was coming. You had to believe it was coming. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. It's not just going out and your guys, playing. Look, the players are not going to tank. They're trying to win. They may not be the most talented group, but they're trying to win. They're trying to extend their careers. They're trying to get paid. But the organization and the staff, there is a way to put your team in a position to do well or to fail. And you may say, well, aren't those isn't that kind of hand in hand with the Browns? They always are in a position to fail. You watch and see how things play out this year. They got one thing on their mind, a super duper high draft pick in 2027. That's it. This is the end game. And this is what we're going to have to go through between now and the first couple of weeks in January, and it'll all be over. And then we get ready for the next time. 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Your thoughts on the Browns making Deshaun Watson their number 1 quarterback? How many wins for the Browns this year because of the decision? Why does Deshaun Watson get booed? What's the biggest reason? Is it on the field or off the field? Or is it a combination of both? We're going to get into all of that today. Guardians swept the Rockies over the weekend. High school football week 1 in review. Sammy's best bet coming up. We've got On This Day in Sports History. We told you about our poll question of the day, and we'll get some other cool stuff in there for you as well. Just getting cranked up here on the Sam Bourquin Show. We'll step away. It's AM 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Every 65 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease. Many don't even know it.
I just knew that I wasn't the high-performing person I used to be. Pieces of my past are being erased. I was lucky we caught this at the very earliest stages. I hope that my story can give other people hope. There is life to be lived. Increasingly, there will be treatments. We need to invest even more in research and finding treatments and cures.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program has invested more than $175 million in breakthrough research.
If your loved one or you yourself are sitting there thinking, something is wrong, I'm not who I used to be, you can get some answers and you can get them for free.
Call us at 1-855-345-6237 or visit us online at brightfocus.org/brainhealth to learn more.
$13.10 WDPN. Welcome to the Sam Bourquin Show. Welcome back to the show. Sammy B here. Ryan Rainsberg is...
I'm over here.
On the other side of the glass. Forgot to get that in there, our first segment today. Deshaun Watson named the new quarterback of the Browns, the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. How do you feel about that? Are you happy, mad, sad, angry? Are you giving the Browns the boot? Are you going to take a couple of weeks and figure out if you want to root for another team? Where do you sit? 330-821-1310. Comments right now at the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We got the chat wide open. You can also hit me up on the Sam Bourquin Facebook page, the show page as well. Lots of stuff there. And we'll get to a lot of your comments. We'll hear from Todd Monken. We're also going to hear from Shador and Deshaun coming up here today. I am not surprised. I think this is all part of the plan. Because here, look, Deshaun's going to start. Remember, first 2 games are on the road. They don't want him starting at home. Are you kidding me? You want to be able to announce your starting lineups over the PA before the game starts. You don't want to have to have the PA announcer say Deshaun Watson over the speakers. So he'll start the first 2 on the road. We'll see what happens after that. My guess is he's going to start the first 2, if he doesn't get hurt, and B, if he doesn't look completely inept, then he'll continue to start. And then something will happen. And I don't know what but something will happen. And then Shador will get the reins for the rest of the year. Then we'll have a couple of offensive line injuries. Somebody will probably leave the team. This is all setting up for a big, fat 3-14. That's where we're going. But now I have to preface that and say, you know what? It's okay. We need to win 3 games. We need to win 2. We need the number 1 pick in the draft. We need the number 1 pick in the draft. He should have brought Hugh Jackson back. I guarantee we get an offer or a 1. What? Come on. This is what we need. And I know nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. People going to the Muni lot, people buying the season tickets, people buying those suites. Nobody wants to hear that. You're in, you're nestled in, ready to go. A brand new season. You got your gear, you got your dog bones, you're ready to go. You don't want to hear that. You're invested emotionally, financially. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear tank. You don't want to hear next year. That's where we're at. News and weather coming up. Ben Axelrod is going to join us from Front Office Sports right after the break. We are just getting started. It's the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. Iran's currency hit a record low Monday as Washington prepared to announce new sanctions to add further pressure on an economy already battered by previous sanctions and a U.S. naval blockade. The rial dropped to 2.02 million to the U.S. dollar as trading opened on informal currency markets. It had already been under pressure before the U.S. and Israel attacked on February 28th with double-digit inflation and negative growth, but 6 months of war have taken a greater toll. Last week, the United Arab Emirates announced it would suspend all trade with Iran. The UAE has long been one of the country's largest trading partners and its biggest source of imports, as well as a major re-export and financial hub for Iranian businesses. Family of a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who was stabbed to death in North Carolina has filed suit against the city of Charlotte and hired parties. Suit claims the city and professional police services, contracted by the Charlotte Area Transit System, were aware of violent crime issues on the city's Lynx Blue Line, but failed to take reasonable safety measures. Irina Zarutska was killed August 22, 2025, minutes after taking a seat on a train in front of the man later seen on video attacking her. Her family said she'd recently fled Ukraine and settled in Charlotte. In June, a federal judge deemed DeCarlos Brown incompetent to stand trial. The 34-year-old, who had a long criminal history and had previously been committed for schizophrenia, was sent to a federal facility for up to 4 months in an attempt to restore competency. Beginning August 11th, several days of powerful storms walloped northwest Indiana, killing at least 7 and displacing about 1,000. The storms brought record rainfall that flooded several communities. In Gary, Indiana, the storm knocked out electricity for more than half the city's residents. As of Sunday morning, 2 weeks after the first storms, just over 28,000 customers of the Northern Indiana Public Service Company were still without power. On Thursday, Indiana Governor Mike Braun requested an expedited major disaster declaration from FEMA for 54 counties. He estimates losses from the storm and its aftermath could top $5 billion. Many Gary residents have been relying on a community center for hot meals, air conditioning, and a chance to charge their phones. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill Saturday adding immigration support workers to the California program that hides the home addresses of people deemed at risk. The program already covers domestic violence survivors, elder abuse victims, and reproductive and sex change workers. State Assemblyman Carl DeMaio dubbed it the Stop Nick Shirley Act, framing it as a Democrat effort to prevent exposing fraud such as daycare centers run by Somali migrants. DeMaio said the bill would allow activists and taxpayer-funded organizations to demand the removal of video evidence, even if it captures misconduct in plain view, and threatens journalists with massive financial penalties. Terry Shantz, chief of staff to Democratic Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon, is facing multiple formal complaints after he barged into a Thursday interview outside the California Capitol and launched a crude personal attack on Shirley. 71 degrees at 3:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
We've got a lot of sunshine and blue skies coming our way through your Monday afternoon. Our high in the lower 70s. Overnight, fall-like feel. Partly cloudy, our low 55. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. It's the Monday of the day. The Cleveland Browns have announced that Deshaun Watson, moving forward, will be the starting quarterback. Team made the announcement a little after 10 a.m. this morning. As you can imagine, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everything's going insane. Shouldn't we have seen this coming, number one? And number two, at the end of the day, this is probably going to keep the Browns' win total right where it needs to be for a very high draft pick next year. It's just the suffering through another 5 or 6 months of what we've been suffering through for years. And why do you think the Browns fans, what is the biggest reason do they boo Deshaun? Is it for the off the field? Or is it on the field? Or is it a combination of both? Let's check in with Ben Axelrod, Front Office Sports, kind enough to join us here today on the show, 1310 WDPN. Ben, happy Monday. What'd you make of the decision? We kind of saw it coming, didn't we?
We saw it coming as of Sunday when Todd Monken gave his press conference following Saturday's debacle. I think leaving Saturday, a lot of people expected that Shedeur was going to be the starter. I know for myself, just sitting in that stadium and watching Deshaun play, I said to myself, I think I tweeted it as well, they simply cannot name this guy the starting quarterback. Like, this guy is not giving you functional NFL caliber quarterback play. And that was before the press conference where he decided to make it personal with the fan base as well. And so I think we all left Saturday thinking Shedeur was going to be named the starter, but also knowing this is the Cleveland Browns, who knows what they will do. And then I think if you listen to Todd Monken's press conference on Sunday when he met with reporters via Zoom, it seemed pretty clear they were getting ready to name Deshaun Watson the starter. He was downplaying everything that happened Saturday. He was saying that, this is going to be more about the long-term competition as opposed to just what happened in one preseason game. And I think he even said earlier that they were putting more stock into what happened during the joint practices with the Bills than they were the preseason game itself. And so that makes me wonder why Shedeur Sanders was even starting a preseason game on Saturday when you still have to get Deshaun Watson ready for his first NFL game in nearly 2 years, and knowing how he's looked at times throughout this training camp and obviously on Saturday. But just kind of a whirlwind of a day, but ultimately we did expect it heading into today that Deshaun Watson would be named the starter, and that's ultimately how this played out.
Ben Axelrod is our guest. I want to get into more of what you saw, what you heard on Saturday, but I do want to ask you your opinion and thought on how Todd Monken handled this whole thing from the word go, and was it all his decision?
You know, he says it was his decision, but he also makes it clear that, you know, they have input from ownership, input from the front office. I think that's right. I mean, I think that's how this ultimately does play out, is that everybody is involved. You know, this is a massive, massive decision for the franchise. I do think Todd Monken has largely handled this fine, other than naming Deshaun Watson the starter. Like, I think the reality is it's not like Shedeur Sanders is lighting the world on fire. I know he played pretty well on Saturday, but he's had a really uneven training camp as well. I think if the alternative to Deshaun Watson was at least a little bit stronger, then maybe we're looking at a different starting quarterback for the Browns right now. But I do think, you know, Todd Monken, he's a straight shooter. I think he's handled everything that's happened the last 48 hours with Deshaun's press conference pretty good, and kind of a breath of fresh air compared to what we used to get from Kevin Stefanski, which was a bunch of non-answers about subjects like this one. But I think he's handled it well, but I think the reality is it's a bad situation, and I think they're choosing from what they view as the lesser of two options, or the better of two, you know, pretty bad options at this point.
So before we get to Deshaun at the podium after the game, where you were at the game, Buffalo's in town, it didn't look like it was very well attended. Looking like a lot of empty seats, which is not a surprise for a preseason game. But what was the vibe like? What was it like in the first half? How bad was the booing when they announced Deshaun as the quarterback to start the second half? What was the whole vibe like there on Saturday from beginning to end?
You know, it was a really disjointed experience, because I think a lot of people who have been following this quarterback battle throughout training camp entered Sunday thinking Deshaun had the inside track, that this was ultimately Deshaun's job to lose. Everything in terms of how they've split the reps, everything Todd Monken's said, if you read between the lines, has made it pretty clear that this was Deshaun Watson's job to lose. And then Shedeur comes out. He plays pretty well. I mean, he threw a touchdown pass. He managed the offense well. And you're watching, I was in the stands with my son.
Uh-huh.
You're watching just from a fan perspective. And when they bring Shedeur out, you know, they introduce the team before the game. They give Shedeur this like standalone shot. Like they're clearly making him the emphasis of this production. When he throws the touchdown pass, they immediately show a bunch of fans in the stands wearing Shedeur jerseys and doing the wrist up celebration. And it makes you think, like, clearly this is a franchise that wants Shedeur Sanders to be their star. I know it's not the people in the video booth making the quarterback decision, but it did give you this like kind of positive vibe as to what it could be. The other thing to remember is there was the big rain delay, and then it was raining coming out of halftime when Deshaun took over the offense at the start of the third quarter. And so I was in the concourse watching it on TV, and I was thinking that I don't even think there's enough fans in the stands right now to hear any boos. And then you do hear like this kind of murmur of boos. I think I'd call it a smattering of boos, like, but it was definitely audible. It was definitely something you could point to. And then we get back to our seats once the weather clears up and Deshaun plays the way that he does. And it's boo after boo after boo, like after every play, to the point like it was a pretty, you know, vitriolic game experience watching, you know, Deshaun battle throughout that third quarter. And so you leave that thinking like, you know, if they're going to put any stock into what happened today, I don't know how you turn around and name Deshaun Watson the starter on Monday, and then you get to your car and you hear everything Deshaun said in the press conference, and you're just like, okay, well, like, you know, this is they're going to have to put him on ice. They're going to have to do what Houston did in 2021 or something. And then to go through what we've gone through now the last 24 hours, you know, it's truly one of those only in Cleveland type of experiences.
Ben Axelrod is our guest. Check him out, Front Office Sports. That's Front Office Sports. Great job on your social media platforms. So I've listened to the interview, I don't know, probably 3-4 times with Deshaun, the post game. What did you make of it? And gosh, he should have been a little bit more aware, don't you think, of the big picture and what's going on and what has happened?
Yeah, he should be. And I also would put a lot of fault with the Browns for this situation. I think I was also at the game where Deshaun tore his Achilles and the fans cheered.
They cheered. Yeah.
And, I was obviously at the game on Saturday as well, watching him get booed. My takeaway from all of it, and this isn't to excuse that behavior, because I don't think you should cheer when somebody gets hurt and it's clear it's a serious injury, but I think the fans were cheering that they didn't have to watch Deshaun Watson play football anymore. And I think they were booing the Browns on Sunday for saying, why are you still doing this to us? Why are you still making us play this guy, making us watch this guy play football? Like, we are so past this experience with him. This has been such a disaster from the moment we traded for him in 2022 and everything we gave up in terms of draft capital, in terms of salary cap, that's still going to haunt the team for years to come, even when they are finally able to release him next offseason. Obviously, giving up on Baker Mayfield is also a part of the conversation. And so I think, like, this fan frustration, as much as it's become the fans against Deshaun, I think it's also very much become the Browns against their own fans, because they are putting a product out on the field with Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback that the fans have made it very clear they don't want to see. They do not want this guy to be their starting quarterback for a variety of reasons, most of which are valid, including his play. And so I think, I don't think Deshaun was very well prepared for what he was going to experience. And I think both he and the Browns have probably overlooked just how the fans feel about this. I don't think the Browns probably until Saturday have fully grasped that this fan base has moved on. And it's not just like a section of fans. It's not just, how sometimes Baker Mayfield would get booed and sometimes things happen. Like, I've been arguing with other Browns fans online for 25 years now. This is the most I can remember Browns fans being united against a single player. And so to go through that experience, I think Browns fans are just frustrated, and they're more so letting the Browns know about it than they are necessarily directing it toward Deshaun, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm trying to figure out, I asked the question, what is the biggest reason that the Browns fans that are booing Deshaun? What's the biggest? Is it the off the field? Is it the on the field? Is it a combo of both? Again, Saturday didn't help himself at all with the interview afterwards. Where do you think that sits, or is it just one big ugly bowl of whatever it is?
I don't think you can separate the two in terms of the way that fans feel about it. I think coming in the way that he came in with the allegations and the suspension and the contract, he was always going to be facing an uphill battle with this fan base, especially because, like I said, Browns fans argue about a lot. There were a significant portion of fans who didn't want to let go of Baker Mayfield and who were already against Deshaun Watson when he came in. There were also a section of fans who were just against Deshaun Watson because of the allegations and the off-field situation that he was a part of when he came in from Houston. But the reality is, had he come in and had he played well, a lot of the fans would have been forgiving, and a lot of the fans would have been willing to overlook it. A lot of the fans would have treated this the same way that, Pittsburgh fans treated Ben Roethlisberger for as long as they did, where it's like, hey, you might not like this guy, but he's our guy and we like our football team and we're winning games. And that's, for a lot of fans, I mean, truth be told, that's what matters most on Sundays. And so I think he was going to always have an uphill battle, but the fact that he has played as poorly as he has, as spectacularly bad as he has, the fact that he has not connected with this fan base, the fact that you're still going back and forth with him in that press conference on Saturday, the fact that he hasn't shown, really any remorse for the situation in Houston. Even today, I know he opened up his press availability with a statement. And I saw a lot of people portraying it as an apology. Like, I didn't hear an apology. I heard a man almost explaining and justifying why he felt the way that he felt. And so
on Saturday, right.
Right. And so I think, really you can't separate any of it, but, if he came in without the allegations but still played poorly, yeah, you probably would hear booing. And if he came in with the allegations and played well, like this wouldn't, we'd be talking about his contract extension right now. We wouldn't be talking about, how are they going to even just get through the first 2 weeks of the season with this guy as their starting quarterback still.
Ben Axelrod is our guest from Front Office Sports. I want to get into Shedeur and his play and his ceiling, if you will. But you put a tweet out the other day, and I was like, boy, that just rung with me. And I sat there, and I was like, you know what? He might be onto something. I'm just going to read it. Could make a strong case that the Deshaun Watson trade did more damage to the Browns than Art Modell moving the team to Baltimore. Ben, I sat there, and I was shaking my head, yes. I think I am in agreement with that. Your thoughts on the tweet, some of the response you got back, and how that's gone?
It was interesting to see the response to saying that, because some people immediately dismissed it and assumed I wasn't old enough to be around when the Browns moved in 1996. And then a lot of people agreed with it. A lot of people said, yeah, this is every bit as bad. I don't have a strong opinion whether it's worse or not. I think they're both, obviously really bad situations. I think the case for Deshaun Watson being worse than the Browns moving to Baltimore would be the Browns moved to Baltimore and it cost Cleveland 3 seasons of football. The Browns traded for Deshaun Watson and it cost them at least 3.5 seasons of football. And it's looking like it's going to probably be 4.5. And the only reason it's not a full 5 is because Joe Flacco managed to salvage the 2023 season. You wasted Myles Garrett's prime. You wasted Nick Chubb's prime. You wasted Denzel Ward's prime. Like, this was an era of Browns football that was set up for success. And this trade completely torpedoed it. And they're going to continue to feel the effects of this from a salary cap standpoint for years to come. So I think the effects of this are longer lasting on Browns football than Art Modell moving the team to Baltimore. Now, the counter would be, if Art Modell keeps the Browns in Cleveland, do they become what the Ravens ultimately became, which was one of the best run franchises in football? Do the Browns win 2 Super Bowls in Cleveland the way the Ravens did in Baltimore? I don't know. It's tough to, make a one-to-one comparison about how it would have played out with the whole butterfly effect there. But I do think that, like, when you look at the Browns moving and it cost Cleveland 3 seasons of football, this Deshaun Watson trade has ultimately done more damage, has led to more wasted seasons. I mean, this is looking like a third completely just wasted season. We're not even talking about realistic, win-loss totals and playoffs. Like, we're just talking about, like, hey, maybe the young guys can continue to look good. That is not what this era of Browns football was supposed to be about when they went through the tanking of 1-31 in 2016 and 2017. And they ultimately went all in on this Deshaun Watson trade. And the reality is that sometimes when you go all in, you bust, and that you have to suffer the consequences of that as well.
Big swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss. All right, let's go to number 2 here now. Shedeur, if you could kind of rate his play in the preseason games. I don't know what you've heard about what's going on in the film room or the practice field or any of that. Where do you sit with Shedeur? Can he play quarterback at the NFL level as a starter and lead a team? Where do you sit with him?
I don't think he's ready to right now. I don't see a guy who has, I think ultimately what this came down to was, like, I don't even think they were really looking at, like, passing ability in terms of the 2 quarterbacks. I think that Deshaun, where it seemed like he clearly had a leg up on Shedeur, was just operating the offense and getting the plays in on time and getting the plays called and all that sort of stuff you need. Now, I thought Shedeur did a good job of that on Saturday. He even managed to draw the Bills off sides a couple of times, but clearly that's not a preseason game the Browns were putting a lot of stock in. And so I think Shedeur is right where you would expect a 5th round, 2nd-year player to be. Like, I don't know off the top of my head, like, there's not a lot of 5th round quarterbacks right now who are only in their 2nd year who are getting ready to start. And so I don't think that this is, I don't think it's bad. I actually think it's probably pretty encouraging that he is their number 2 quarterback at this point, because a lot of, 5th round picks, might be fighting for a roster spot. He's clearly jumped the guy who was drafted ahead of him in Dylan Gabriel. And so it'll be interesting to see, like, how this quarterback room shakes out, because I don't necessarily know that the 4 quarterbacks on this roster are all going to be on the roster in a couple of weeks here. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But I think Shedeur is right, where you would expect a player of his stature in the league to be. And the only reason we're talking about him in this context of should he be a starting quarterback is that they put him in a quarterback competition with Deshaun Watson, who I don't think any of the other 31 NFL teams would even be entertaining as their number 2 quarterback, let alone their number 1 quarterback at this point.
Ben Axelrod, Front Office Sports, is our guest. So the Patriots Thursday, 8:00. I think that's an Amazon Prime game. And then no game until the 13th of September. So there's a little extra time in between. What do you foresee those days leading up to the opener like? Will there be any surprises, any changes, anything that would make us say, whoa, okay?
It's the Browns. I mean, it's all on the table. I mean, they could sign Jimmy Garoppolo tomorrow and say, like, we're reopening this competition, and it wouldn't be out of left field for me. Like, it's like everything is on the table with this team. I do think, like, the continued fan backlash is worth monitoring. Clearly, they don't put any stock into what the fans think and how they have felt about this entire situation. But, like, you have people driving by the facility yelling things today. Who knows what it might look like come week 3 if he's still in a position to be the starting quarterback. Like, this is real backlash. This is people trying to cancel season tickets. Like, this is not something that people are just like, oh, the Browns didn't draft the guy I like, or, oh, I'm over Johnny Manziel. This is like, I can't believe this is year 5 of this guy and we're still dealing with this. And so I don't think it's going to ultimately change, anything in terms of the roster, but I do think, they're going to have to decide how they're going to sort out these 4 quarterbacks. Taylon Green is finally going to get a play. It looks like on Thursday against the Patriots. And I know he's a guy a lot of fans are excited about just because of his athletic ability. You still have Dylan Gabriel, who they were still mixing in and getting reps as the number 2 quarterback at times throughout this preseason. That defense is really thin right now in terms of depth. And that's the one thing you've been able to count on the last 2 or 3 years with the Browns is their defense. So I think they obviously have some, though I imagine they'll be pretty active on the waiver wire, especially when those cuts come in a couple of weeks here. But yeah, it's going to be a long build here to not only this first game, but you also have week 2 against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, which could really set up a pretty fascinating scenario if Deshaun plays any way that he played this past Saturday.
Well, the gift that keeps on giving. Unfortunately, it's been a lot of coal and nothing that we really, really want. Ben Axelrod, Front Office Sports, always appreciate the time. I've been enjoying your coverage of all this stuff going on Front Office Sports, and we'll catch up with you down the road and have a great rest of the week, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Sam.
You got it. Ben Axelrod, Front Office Sports. Yeah. Whew. So much to unpack there. Patriots Thursday night, then there's no game until September the 13th. Then you go down to Florida 2 weeks in a row. Jags, Bucks, then you come home for the home opener. What's that going to be like? You know what? I have never seen in my life, and I got to tell you, I'm proud. I am proud of what the fans are doing. There is a real big group of PO'd fans right now, and they are letting the Browns have it. They're letting Jimmy Haslam have it, and they're hitting him in the wallet, which you really can't hurt him there. But if you get enough people that say, you know what, I'm done. Not just say you're done, like most Browns fans do. Oh, I'm done. And they're back in front of the TV the next day, or they're buying tickets for the next game. No, this is a legit, you know what? Screw off. I'm out. I'm out until this gets better. I'm canceling my season tickets. I'm not going to this event. I'm not supporting this. They are loud. It is a bigger group than I've ever seen in my life, and I am proud of you. I am proud of them.
I think Mark on YouTube is one of them. He says, I'd rather spend my Sunday afternoons watching a Mount Union JV game than watch the garbage that's on the lakefront now.
I mean, I have been in some way, shape, or form covered this, talked about it, lived it, breathed it for a long time. And even in the media, I have never seen backlash from this fan base like I'm seeing now. You know, the old rant, I forget who did it. Mike, somebody, he came up with calling the Brown Stadium the factory of sadness. Mike Polk. And then he goes on like he does a 7 or 8 minute rant, and then, I'll see you next Sunday. It's not like that. It's not like that right now. People are legitimately angry, and they're showing it. Now, by the time September 13th rolls around, everybody will probably be in front of their TVs or listening on the radio or going to the home opener. They'll be in the Muni lot. They'll pack the bars on East, West 6th, whatever it is. But for right now, the fans are angry. Young fans, middle-aged, older. They're tired of it. They're tired of it. And somehow the Browns can't see it. Or the Browns don't want to see it. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310. Text line is open as well. Get your comments in on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Browns have named Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback. How do you feel about it? Are you going to walk away? Truly walk away from the Browns, at least temporarily? And do you think Shedeur can play in the NFL? I'm talking starting quarterback, lead the team, make the big plays, win a lot of games. Can he do it? Do you think he can do it? Do you know he can do it? Or do you know that he can't? And I want your take on how Todd Monken has kind of handled all this. Can't be easy. Oh, for a first-year coach, this can't be easy. We'll step away. News and weather coming up. 1 hour in, 2 more big hours to go. Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.
Keeping Alliance entertained and informed for over a half a century. AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. says it will impose sanctions on countries and financial institutions continuing to do business with Iran. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the U.S. is trying to put a chokehold on Iran's economy. ABC's Karen Travers says there's no timeline, though, on the sanctions.
He said that this is really a threat right at this point. The Treasury Department had announced that countries will be given a timeline, a defined timeline to shut down Iran-related activity that the administration has identified and said if they fail to act, Treasury will act, but we don't have the details of what that timeline is. That has not been released publicly.
In response to the U.S. 50% tariffs placed on Canadian imports, Canada says it will oppose tariffs on U.S. goods starting in September. President Trump also threatening to double tariffs, he says, in January. In Nevada, evacuations continuing northwest of Reno, where crews are battling the Hawk Fire. It broke out over the weekend. This is ABC News.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. A New York woman was arraigned in Massillon Municipal Court today following her arrest Friday on charges of promoting prostitution. 55-year-old Aiju Chen of Brooklyn is accused of operating and managing Jai Li Spa, a massage business in Jackson Township for the purpose of facilitating sexual activity for hire. Charge follows an investigation by the Stark County Sheriff's Office. Chen scheduled for a preliminary hearing next Monday. A fifth suspect has been arrested in connection with a double homicide at a burning Canton apartment. Savannah Davis arrested Friday on charges of aggravated arson, tampering with evidence, obstructing justice, and gross abuse of a corpse. Charges stem from the August 9th shootings of Katina Spells of Canton and Courtney Yeager of Massillon. Melissa Terrell and Emily Ryder of Canton waived their preliminary hearings Friday. Terrell charged with aggravated arson, tampering with evidence, and obstructing justice. Ryder charged with obstructing justice. Their cases were bound over to the grand jury. Darrell Washington and Eric Lamar of Canton also had their cases bound over Tuesday. Washington charged with aggravated murder and aggravated arson. Lamar charged with aggravated arson, obstructing justice, and tampering with evidence. A North Canton man has been arraigned in Massillon Municipal Court on charges stemming from a police pursuit. 28-year-old Donovan McDonald being held on a $10,000 bond. Preliminary hearing set for next Monday. McDonald allegedly fled from police Friday morning, reaching speeds of about 80 miles per hour with his toddler son in the vehicle. Perry Township Police later spotted a suspicious vehicle near Roford Avenue and Buckwalter Drive Southwest and held McDonald for Massillon police. Officers said 2 loaded guns were found. McDonald faces charges including child endangerment and fleeing police, as well as a weapons count. A Massillon man was found dead inside his foreclosed home by the new owners. Police were called Thursday to the home in the 800 block of Melbourne Road Northeast. The victim identified as 76-year-old Steve Bartusek, the former owner. Police say he appeared to have died of natural causes. The county coroner's office says it's unclear how long the man had been dead. Man facing charges after police say he crashed into a Canton home and utility pole while fleeing from officers. 47-year-old Jerry Dotson of Canton allegedly drove erratically on Market Avenue North Thursday night, went over a curb and failed to stop for police. Dotson lost control and struck a home in the 2600 block. He reportedly told officers he had had too much to drink. Dotson faces OVI, failure to comply, and criminal damaging charges. He was arraigned today in municipal court. An Alliance man in custody following a high-speed chase that ended in a crash Wednesday afternoon. Police say 45-year-old James George fled a traffic stop in Sebring, reaching speeds of 70 miles an hour. The pursuit ended when George crashed his pickup into a utility pole in the 800 block of South Mahoning Avenue, downing live wires. Officers had to break the vehicle's window and deploy tasers to arrest George. He was arraigned Thursday in Mahoning County Court on charges including fleeing and eluding. Preliminary hearing set for September 10th. Man dead after a head-on crash with a semi in Streetsboro. 29-year-old Andrew Glantz of Kent was driving south on Route 43 just before 2:30 Saturday morning when police say his car crossed the center line and hit a northbound semi. Glantz died at the scene. The 55-year-old Akron truck driver was not hurt. Portage County grand jury has indicted a man facing rape and sexual battery charges involving 2 teenage girls. 41-year-old Kevin New of Freedom Township charged Thursday with 2 counts each. The indictment alleges the rape charges involve a girl who is 13 to 16 years of age. The sexual battery charges with a second girl who was 15 to 18. The alleged crimes occurred between August 2022 and August of last year. New was arraigned Friday in common pleas court and is being held in the county jail on $400,000 bond. West Township trustees addressing drainage and road issues. A resident says an overgrown creek along Bayard Road is backed up, causing flooding across the field and into Bayard and Low Miller roads. Trustees will discuss the problem with the Columbiana County engineer. Trustees also say Ridge Road will be repaved along with Malibu to Brush Road. The township has spent about $135,000 on asphalt this year. A new ambulance is expected to be in service by the end of next month. Mahoning County Clerk of Courts Michael Ciccone is denying allegations of racial discrimination and retaliation contained in a lawsuit filed by a former employee. Thais Scott, a former administrator, alleges she was fired after reporting a racial slur and hostile work environment. Ciccone denies more than 50 allegations and says he acted for legitimate non-discriminatory reasons. A status hearing set for October 22nd. 72 degrees at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Afternoon highs today around 72 degrees, a west wind of 15 miles per hour. A little coolness in the air, mainly sunny, low humidity. Overnight, partly cloudy skies on the way with a low of 55. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Well, how about that? Up the alley. Juan all the way to third. He might keep going.
Oh, yeah.
It gets by the center fielder. Juan will score. Delauder's going to keep going. He's digging for 3. He'll go in standing with an RBI triple, and it's 1-0 Guardians.
Tristan Peters smokes this one to center field. It is Ewing backing up at the wall. It is gone! Tristan Peters walks it off in the 9th.
Swing and a fly ball. Center field. Going back is Church. Back toward the wall. It is over! Off the batter's eye. Out to Ashford Alley. Kyle Schwarber has just completed an improbable comeback.
On first down, he hands it off to Wright from the big hole. And Wright will take it all the way for a Seahawks touchdown. 69 yards.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. Sammy B with you till 6 o'clock tonight. Phone lines open 330-821-1310. Comment section. The chat room is open, ready to roll on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Got a really funny video that we're going to be playing probably the rest of the afternoon. In bits and pieces of Deshaun Watson throwing a football on the practice field today. So if you're watching on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel, or if you're not, you need to get there and just kind of take it all in, because he is after all the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
It's a little 14-second clip, but it's 14 seconds of pure beauty.
Yeah. You could just leave it on a loop. Just leave it on a loop the rest of the show and put Benny Hill music to it. It would make sense.
You see the defender go running by the camera, and you think the ball's going to fly towards the defender, but boy, howdy, it just flies right towards that camera.
Unbelievable. That's your starting quarterback, folks. And at the end of the day, maybe he does give you a better chance to win. I don't know. I wish Shedeur was just better.
I want to thank our own Ryan Keller for sending that to me, because that made my day. That made me very happy. It was very funny.
I just wish Shedeur was better. I wish he was bigger. I wish he was taller. I wish he processed things faster. I wish he made better decisions. Put that with his charisma, his swag, his likability, and you got yourself the total package. Unfortunately, we don't have that with Shedeur.
Ooh, I got the perfect comment from Sean to go with this clip. He says, Deshaun aware? He is the furthest thing from aware. There goes the ball.
Yeah. We are going to hear, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play Deshaun's little mini post-game interview this is after the Bills-Browns game Saturday in Cleveland. It doesn't matter. The Bills won the game 31. That doesn't matter. It's the fact that Deshaun Watson played like poo in the second half of that game, and then just kind of, he didn't have a real good post-game press conference on Saturday. If you missed it, or if you didn't miss it and you want to listen to it again, and just listen to the tone, the nonchalantness, the I don't give a bleep attitude, which really kind of came through. And this didn't help his cause either. Now, I know this was from Saturday. He did a little retraction earlier today. We'll play that for you as well. But this is what he said Saturday when questioned about being booed during the preseason game against the Bills at the stadium.
Man, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think that's it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
Nah, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason. So I don't regret anything at all. But, you know, I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, the tables turn, and I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to, you know, wait for that time to change. So I'm not tripping on it.
Probably not the best way to answer those questions.
Holy crap. Which reporter asked him that question?
That was Jeff Shadow.
Oh, my God. We got to get that guy on the air.
Jeff Shadow.
That was a good one.
Look, when Deshaun, if you go way back to the beginning of that interview, he says, oh, it has nothing to do with my performance on the field. The hell it doesn't.
That's part of it.
Bro, you've been stinking the joint out. Throwing balls into the ground, overthrowing people, taking sacks. You've been stinking up the facility. This has a lot to do with your on-the-field performance. Yeah, by the way, people are still letting you have it for your misgivings off the field. Did he just say that God put him through that to... You lost me there a little bit, Deshaun.
Yeah.
You lost me a little bit. And then he says he didn't regret anything? Really? You didn't regret anything that's happened or how you've handled yourself? Does this guy listen to what he's saying? Am I nuts here? Did we all listen to that? We all just listened to that.
I think.
How long was it? About 2 minutes?
Yeah, 1:30, something like that.
I may have you replay that again. I may have you play that again right here.
Oh, real quick. We had a comment from our very own Keller about that. He says, I don't think Watson said anything not true in his interview yesterday. There have been NFL players who have done a lot worse, cheated for, and they're passed and forgotten about. Same in Cleveland.
I just don't know how he can answer. Again, this was from Saturday. This was fresh off being booed all day. I get it. Emotions running high. Probably wasn't quite ready for the response, even though he probably should have been. You got to remember,
what were you expecting?
He didn't just walk through the door 2 weeks ago.
No.
This has been going on for almost 5 years. 5 years of this. And sorry, Deshaun, but you're married to this. You put yourself in this position. You had your misgivings in Houston. You really never apologized to anybody. You just wrote checks and denied everything. And went on about your way. Went on your cruises. You got on the boat on Instagram. You're flashing your watch. You're flashing your gold. You're flashing your cash. People don't go for that. Northeast Ohio, we don't go for that act. You need to take that somewhere else.
We're salt of the earth out here.
We are.
Yeah.
And we don't do everything right.
No.
And we don't claim to do everything right.
God, no.
But that kind of stuff doesn't wash in Northeast Ohio. And the sooner this guy figures it out, which maybe he never will, it's taken him 5 years and he hasn't yet, and he's not getting any better on the football field, what did you expect? Look, now, I will say this in defense, and I would say this to, if I have any enemies, I probably do out there somewhere, I would never cheer anybody that gets hurt. I would never cheer that.
No, definitely
as
not.
much as maybe I might want to. I won't do it because that's somebody's health, that's somebody's livelihood, that's somebody who's in pain. I would never, ever, ever do that, ever. And I've never done it, and I never will. I promise you that. But he's got to be aware that the people are still holding stuff over his head that he brought upon himself. He did it. Nobody else did it. He did it. And then you couple that with the play on the field. I mean, what do you expect? But here's the other side of the coin. Shadour's not ready. Shador may never be ready. What are you going to do? Go back to Dylan Gabriel and keep the $240 million man on the bench? You can't cut him. It'll kill you. Your dead cap hit. It'll kill you. So you can't cut him. What are you going to do? They're stuck. They're stuck until this guy is out of town. Or Shador Sanders turns into the second coming at the quarterback position. But he hasn't earned that, I don't think, with his play. So he's not going to start. He's not going to get the reps with the number ones. He's not going to get, he's not going to get the fire. He's not going to get the bullets flying around. He's not going to get that. So it's harder for him to climb that mountain and get better, to get more, consistent. So I got a guy who's making $250 million guaranteed, coming off a couple of injuries. Which, did we ever find out how he got the second Achilles injury? Did we ever really, truly find out how and when that happened? Didn't think so. And then there's the Shador on the other side who just can't. It's just not going to happen. So you are where you are. You're getting ready for another season. You got a rookie head coach. You got pretty much a brand new offensive line. Guys that haven't played with each other probably hardly ever. We've lost a couple guys to injury. Had to put a couple guys on the injured list. You don't have Myles Garrett. You brought in Jared Verse. You had a pretty good draft. But all that's pretty much just window dressing right now because this team is set up. It is set up to fail. It is set up to win 3 games. They're set up to have a high pick in the draft. And you better hope Arch Manning's going to be there. And you better hope that Manning's and his support cast and his crew are okay with him coming to Cleveland. Because if they're not, you think this was a step back. Wait until if that fiasco would happen. Oh, the gift that keeps on giving. 22 minutes past the hour. Phones are open, 330-821-1310. Text 330-944-5179. Get your comments in the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. A lot of them coming in. We'll react to your reactions after the break here on 1310.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs. It's probably the best thing you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them, epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
Welcome back, 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin Show. I just watched that Deshaun Watson pass in practice a couple minutes ago. Again. Oh, my God. What are we doing? Check me out on X, Sam Bourquin, at Sam Bourquin16 on X. I got the video up there if you want to check it out.
Cameraman.
It's just 11 on 11, and it's Deshaun Watson rolling to the right, looking downfield, and grounds it.
I love how much time there is between you see the receiver run by the camera and then you see the ball actually head towards the camera.
330-821-1310. Anyway, what's going on in the chat room, Rainsburg? I see a lot of activity there.
All right. We got Dan checking in on Facebook, hitting us all with cold water. He says, this team will be garbage as long as Jimmy Haslam is the owner.
Absolutely. 100%. I've said it for years.
NFL needs to apply the Jimmy rule. If you have 4 consecutive losing seasons, the team goes up for bid. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea at all, Dan. I'm on board. Purple Suit says, I picked the Lions as my team thanks to Spielman and Barry Sanders. It's been a rough lifetime of fandom, but I've never been happier that my parents didn't make a Browns fan.
Yeah. I mean,
same. I'm with you.
My son, I did not force the Cleveland Browns on our son. I think he learned by hearing me swear and be in a bad mood when I watch games. So I think he picked up on that at an early age. And then he was smart enough when Russell Wilson was really cooking with the Seattle Seahawks. He was smart enough to latch onto that team. And he stayed with them. Even after Russ left, he stayed with them. Got rewarded with a Super Bowl last year. I didn't push that on him. Now I kind of push Ohio State on him a little bit, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
You're probably not the only parent that does that in the state.
You're a Buckeye. That's all there is to it. And a Cavalier now that he started his first day at college at Walsh University today.
No, I was going to say, he's definitely not a Buckeye now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But you can be a Cavalier and a Buckeye.
Yeah, they don't really play each other, do they?
No, God, no.
Yeah,
no.
I didn't think so.
So, yeah, I never forced that on him. But I used to be the guy, and I've changed. I've softened my stance over the years.
He's seen the light, everybody.
That you shouldn't, just because you were born in Ohio and grew up in Ohio, you shouldn't force a team on a child or a relative and just like drive it into them until the end of time. Nobody should have to go through that. Nobody should have to go through the whole deal of being a Cleveland Browns fan with all that you have to put up with. Now, I've stuck with him. I don't flip-flop back and forth. Now, do I say bad things about him? You better believe it. Are there Sundays where I may not watch as much as I should? You better believe it. Are there times when I just want to throw it? Yes, but I don't. I will be a Browns, Cavs, Indians, Buckeyes guy till the end. But I'm going to tell you what, it has to be incredibly hard to be a fan of it. It is. It's incredibly hard to be a fan of this team. It's embarrassing. It's maddening. It's annoying. It's challenging. It's bewildering. Makes you kind of second guess your choice. It's all of that. And yet, Sunday afternoon, when the Browns are in Jacksonville, there'll be millions and millions and millions of people tuned in Northeast Ohio. Browns fans all over the world. Same thing will happen against Tampa Bay. Same thing will happen with the home opener. There'll be 68,000 people there. The Muni lot will be packed. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. And the thing is, the owners have known that it will never change. With Art, with Lerner, with Jimmy, it'll never change. Browns will always be the darling. It's always going to be the football town, the football city, no matter what. But maybe there's a little crack in that armor right now. Maybe. Time for Sammy's best bet of the night. We are going to go to the Major League Baseball scene, and tonight we're going to go to Northern California, otherwise known as Sacramento, the temporary home of the Athletics. We got a nice little 10.5 on the board tonight with the Minnesota Twins. Matthews and Springs, the pitching matchup, both of their ERAs add up to over 11. Surprised this isn't an 11.5. Maybe it will be bet up later. Game doesn't go until 9:40 tonight, but our best bet tonight, the Twins and the A's over the 10.5. That's Sammy B's best bet of the night. A's, Twins over the 10.5. All right? All right. News and weather coming up next, 1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. A wildfire that expanded in Reno, Nevada over the weekend has forced authorities to urge more than 90,000 residents to leave their neighborhoods. Videos show some homes have already been destroyed. There's concern shifting winds could push the flames into densely packed neighborhoods on the edge of Nevada's second biggest city. Schools are closed today because of the evacuations and to keep roads clear for emergency crews. Authorities said late Sunday the Hawk fire had stayed in its footprint. Firefighters were extinguishing hotspots. European leaders have joined President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kyiv for the 35th anniversary of Ukraine's Independence Day. Monday, UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham made his first overseas trip since taking office, joining other European leaders in Kyiv. They pledged further military and financial support. Burnham expected to announce the release of classified information to aid missile production in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian strikes targeted Russian facilities, killing 3 people and wounding 6 children in Krasnodar. Russia said it had intercepted 351 Ukrainian drones overnight. Trade dispute between the U.S. and Canada escalated over the weekend. Raft of U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods kicked in Friday at midnight, while Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Canada would apply dollar-for-dollar tariffs going into effect September 8th. Canada already applied much larger tariffs than the U.S., which led to the president's actions. The new U.S. tariffs apply a 50% levy to about $20 billion in Canadian imports, or roughly 5% of the goods exported to the U.S. Items exclude energy-related goods. Texas judge rejected Carmelo Anthony's request for a new trial Saturday following his conviction in the murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. The 19-year-old Anthony received a 35-year prison sentence for fatally stabbing Metcalf at a high school track meet in April 2025. Anthony's team said he acted in self-defense, while prosecutors said Anthony initiated the altercation and pulled a knife. Since the trial, Anthony's supporters questioned courtroom conduct, evidence, and the jury's racial makeup. A recent hearing uncovered both teenagers' disciplinary records that were not previously acknowledged due to an informal agreement between the legal teams. Experts questioning Massachusetts verification processes after federal prosecutors charged a Chinese man for registering to vote and casting a ballot under his former landlord's name. Yu Peng's son, a Chinese national living in Andover, allegedly submitted an online voter registration in the name of the other person who is not a U.S. citizen. Massachusetts requires applicants to have reliable citizenship information documented in their motor vehicle records before they submit an application online. If the documentation is missing, the regulation says the applicant shall be unable to submit an online application. The Secretary of the Commonwealth's office did not respond to questions about what citizenship information was contained in the registry record, how an online application submitted in his identity was able to proceed, or whether the state has reviewed the process since learning of the case. 72 degrees at 4:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Dry weather through your Monday afternoon, a mainly sunny sky all day long. Comfortable, low humidity, a high of 72 degrees. Overnight, partly cloudy and a little cool, our low in the middle 50s. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
No, it's not. It's not Friday. We're not working for the weekend yet. It's only Monday. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. Phone lines open 330-821-1310.
It makes me giggle to use this song on Mondays.
Yeah, I don't find it really funny.
All right. As long as that's all I needed to hear.
It's Monday. There's a long time between now and Friday.
We're always working for the weekend, Sam.
Yeah. We're always working during the weekend.
Yeah, see, we don't even it's completely irrelevant this time of year. Yeah, no.
It really doesn't.
No, we work on the weekends.
Raul says Bill Cowher is house hunting again in Strongsville.
Who is that?
That's a long running joke. He was the longtime coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We always wanted him. He actually played for the Browns back in the day. We always wanted him to come coach the Browns. There was always this rumor he was looking for a house. People, I swear I saw Bill Cowher in Strongsville. I saw him in Westlake. He's going to buy a house. He's going to coach the Browns. And Bill, he stepped away from coaching the Steelers. He went right into the TV broadcast booth, and he's never looked back. So it's kind of a running joke.
Football conspiracy theories are so much more fun.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Sam, Browns are just shoveling up the same old. Yeah. Hey, like I say this time of year every year, thank God for Ohio State and thank God for Mount Union. And thank God for Walsh now. I say it every year. All right. What are we going to do? I wanted to just step away from the Browns just for a minute. Don't go away. We'll get right back in there. We're going to hear from Coach Monken here as he made his announcement today. But just to kind of get re-caught up with what the Guardians are doing, they swept Colorado, which they should have done. Okay, no cookies and juice box for doing that. You should have beat them 3 games in a row, and they did. So the Guards picked up 3 wins over the weekend against Colorado. They are 65 and 66. They are 3.5 games out behind the White Sox. Cleveland and Chicago are both 6-4 in their last 10. The Twins have been scuffling a little bit. They are 4-6 in their last 10, and the Tigers are going the wrong way now. They've lost 8 of their last 10. They are 7 out in the division. Now the wild card gets a little wonky. A lot of teams, a lot of franchises have a shot. Rays on top of the Yankees by 3 in the East. In the West, the Astros and the Rangers are tied for the division lead, and the Mariners are only 3 games out. Tonight, Guards, Angels. I think they played tonight. Or they give them an off day. Now I got to look. At any rate, they're going to play the Angels for 3, and then they're going to play Kansas City after this series. So if you ever needed a run of bad teams, Angels, Guardians at 9:40 tonight. Parker Messick on the mound for Cleveland. If you ever needed a run of 12 games in a row against bad teams, you got it. San Francisco, Colorado, the Angels, and the Royals. Bad teams. Bad baseball teams. So the Guardians should be sweeping. They should be. Now they'll get a crack at the Angels tonight. Again, first pitch 9:40, first of 3. Now I got to see who the White Sox are fighting tonight. Who they got? Ooh, good series. Good series on the south side. Rangers and the White Sox tonight. First pitch at 7:40. That's game 1 of a 3-game set. That'll be a good series. So we'll kind of be pulling for the Rangers a little bit there. All right, so that's a little bit on the Guards. High school football over the weekend. Well. The Massillon Tigers delivered as they took care of Glenville. Truth be told, if you go back and look at the stats and you look at a couple plays during that game, Massillon should have beaten Glenville 48-18. But they only beat him 31-18, still 2 touchdowns, like I predicted. Massillon's good. Massillon's good. They're very good. How about the atmosphere at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium on Friday night? I started getting little bits and pieces and reports throughout the night. They have turned that into a giant party over there. They get a new PA announcer. They've got a hype man, a DJ. Obviously, they got the brand new scoreboard. They have a hot dog and T-shirt launcher. They are completely trying to be like the NBA or arena football. And a lot of people liked it. It took a little bit of getting used to, I heard from some. I put a little question out on the Sam Bourquin Show page on Facebook over the weekend. I said, hey, I've heard some good things about Tiger Stadium crowd and the environment. I said, what was the vibe like? Oh, people were just firing off. Most people really liked it. Biggest crowd they've had there in years outside of like the McKinley game. So yeah, sounds like it's the place to be. Sounds like a fun place. Sounds like a fun place to be on a Friday night.
David checking in on Facebook says, so much fun. 15K. I don't know what the 15K is, but
it's crowd of 15,000.
Oh, nice.
Now I heard 12.5 to 13, but whatever. I'm not going to fight over that. That's a nice crowd.
Anybody send you a video of that scoreboard?
Oh, yeah. Oh, George sent it. Yep. He sent a couple of really cool pictures. Thank you, George.
Shout out to George.
Sent in one was a video, one was a photo. Really cool. Really cool. But I heard the atmosphere was just like it was an NBA game. Most loved it. There were some who was like, it's too loud. Over the top, this, that, and the other. Most people really liked it. Really liked it. Now, I don't have a Maslin home game until the end of the year, so I'm not going to be able to experience. Now, I know the PA, and this funny story, well, not a funny story, just a story. The new PA announcer at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, he'd been around for a little while. And I know this because he is the PA announcer for Baldwin Wallace. So I've gotten to hear him in action. When Mount goes to play football up there, when they go up to play basketball, he is the PA guy there. And yeah, he gets into it. He gets people off their fannies. He also is the PA voice of the Akron Rubber Ducks up at Canal Park. And Maslin was just kind of looking for, a little shot of energy, some electricity. Now, you know me, I'm old school. Ain't nobody better than Walt Bronzik. Nobody better than Walt Bronzik. Nobody will ever be better than him. Excuse me, as a PA announcer. Walt was the best. That he just kind of decided a little while ago he just didn't want to do it anymore. He did it for a long time. And Maslin just decided they wanted this new approach. So they bring in the new PA guy. They got that huge scoreboard. I've never heard of a hype guy for a high school football game, but they got one. They got a GJ going, okay? They're shooting hot dogs into the stands, T-shirts. I mean, it's a whole thing. But I heard the people absolutely loved it.
Maybe Al at Akron can tell us. He's on our 1310 line for you.
All right, Al, let me get to you in 30 seconds. I want to kind of finish up my thought here. So Maslin looked really, really good. We had the McKinley-Warren Harding game, 33-0 McKinley.
McKinley also looked pretty good.
They did, but I will say this is not one of Warren's better teams.
Okay. Good to know.
And I will say that is nicely because it's high school football. I'm not putting anybody down. They're going to struggle. All right. They're going to struggle. I thought Lake looked pretty good. I thought Jackson looked pretty good. I thought Perry looked pretty decent. Northwest looked pretty good. But we'll get into all that as the week moves on. 330-821-1310. Al in Akron. You're on the Sam Bourquin Show. What's up, Al?
Sammy B, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Busy weekend, busy Monday. I mean, we're rolling. We're rolling. How about you?
This is where you're on the go, what, about 24/7 now for the next 6 months?
Yes, sir. No more vacations.
Hey, Kurtzy does a nice job too, Jeff Kurtz.
I got to plead stupid here. Is that the guy at Kent?
And he does some of the stuff at the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But Sammy, this is a Jimmy decision today, right?
I would think so. Well, you know what, Al? Everything is his decision. He drafted Johnny. He drafted Shador. He went out and got Deshaun. He's done everything.
He drafted Baker and then got rid of Baker.
Did he or did Dorsey do that? I think Dorsey picked.
Who was paying the bills?
Well, you know me, man, and I'm not afraid to say it. Just because you're paying the bills doesn't mean you make smart decisions.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at Jerry Jones in Dallas.
Oh, my God. They're like, who would have thought that America's team, like, is there like a more irrelevant team right now in the NFL than that? Because at the end now, this year.
Yeah, we're living about 40 minutes away from it.
Yeah. This year could be different in Dallas, and I do say that with a straight face. It could be, they could really have a year. But the Browns, like, this is all set up for, unfortunately, this is set up to where they really need to be. And that's a 2 or 3 win team. And I know you don't want to hear that. I know people don't want to hear that, but I mean, how else are you going to get out of this? Your future quarterback is not on the team. So how else are you going to get out of this mess?
But there's no guarantee that if you take one of the guys next year, that's going to be your
no, it's not. It's not. But I think whoever they pick, they will throw 150,000% behind that person and put them in the best position and help them as best as they can. Nobody tried to help Baker. Nobody really tried to help Johnny. Of course, he wouldn't have taken it anyway. And as far
Johnny
as
didn't help Johnny.
No, Johnny didn't help Johnny either. But as far as Deshaun and Baker, or Deshaun and Shador, I mean, Shador just can't. He just can't do it, Al. He just can't do it at the high end of the NFL. And Deshaun,
But how do we know that? He
I
played behind me and you last year.
You know how I think we know that? Nobody picked him. Nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted Shador out of college. That's how I think we know. And I'm not saying he's a bad kid. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's just not a top-notch 8 to 10 to 12-year leader quarterback of a football franchise. He just physically, and he just can't do it.
We may agree to disagree on that. I mean,
that's okay.
I don't know the kid's been given a fair chance.
But again,
I mean,
how many years did he play?
The last 8 or 9 games, 10 games, whatever it was.
Yeah. How many years did he play at Colorado?
He had no receivers.
How many years did he play at Colorado?
He had no offensive line. His best tight end was hurt. I mean, at least this year he's got a semblance of a line that might be able to block for him.
Maybe.
The rookies have looked good in at least the first preseason game. Fannin is back. Quinshawn is back. I mean, this is all about $230 million.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna sit the guy you're paying that money to. You know, it's crazy, Al, that Harold Fannin Jr. might be the best guy.
Yeah,
he might be the best guy, top to bottom, on the offense. Of anybody that plays offense for the Browns, he might be the number one guy.
And I think Q's right there behind him.
I need to see more. I need to see more of him. And I worry about the offensive line because they've just kind of, patched this together with free agents and draft picks and practice squad. And I'm a little worried that, you know what I mean? I'm a little worried about the line over the year's time. They might be okay here and there. They may have sparks of a couple of great weeks, but I worry that, over the long haul, I worry that they're going to be as good as they need to be. But I wish, like I said 15, 20 minutes ago, I wish Shador was about 3 or 4 inches taller. I wish he was just a little bit quicker, had a little more speed, and processed things a little faster. Put that with his charisma, his swag, his likability. I think he could be a pretty good leader. If you put all that together, Al, you got yourself a number one quarterback. Unfortunately, he doesn't have all of that of which he needs.
True. I'll give you that. But again, I don't think the kid's gotten a fair shake. And I don't know how do you get the fan base back? Are you you're gonna play 17 road games having that guy behind center.
Did you watch or listen to or see the game on Saturday?
Bits and pieces.
Did you hear you heard the boos, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
there wasn't 80,000 people in the stands either.
No, it was half empty. Matter of fact, there was probably more Bills people there than Browns, to be honest with you, on Saturday. And I know the weather was really bad and this, that, and the other. But you're right. It might feel like 17 road games because I think finally for the first time in a long time, the Cleveland Browns fan base, the smart, knowledgeable Cleveland Browns fans, they've spoken. They have spoken, and they're sticking to it.
And here's the thing that it doesn't matter, as far as the season ticket holders, he's already got their money.
Right. It's paid. It's done and paid for. Now he's trying to reach into their pockets more for a deposit on PSLs for 2029. Right. Imagine being a salesperson, an account executive for the Browns right now. Good luck with that.
Yeah, how many of those calls do you think are rejected when they're dialed up?
Oh man, whew, I would not want that job if it was the last one on earth.
No.
They're getting hung up on. Every third call, they're getting hung up on. It's like telemarketer. Blip, blip, blip. Hang up. Hang up.
Yeah, I just don't understand how this franchise can keep doing injustices to that position. I mean, you've already named them all. We don't need to rehash them, but it's just since we've been back, it's been horrible.
They have rewritten the book.
One nice little run with DA.
Yep. Nice little, couple of years. Yep.
And then, the nice little, I guess, run with Baker, if that's what you want to call it. But other than that,
well, we had the little fun with Flacco that lasted, 8 games? Something like that.
Right.
Yeah, they have rewritten the book on how to destroy a fan base. And again, Al, as I mentioned, for the first time in a long time, the fans are speaking, and they're sticking to what they're speaking. I'm anxious to see how this is going to go. Obviously I pay close attention. I'm going to pay really close attention now the next month of how this all settles. It's going to be fascinating.
And think about this, Sammy. It could be 60-40 black and yellow. It could be 60-40 orange and black. It could be 60-40 or more of the purple and white. For those games.
Al, the visiting teams, if those teams are having good years, of which we speak, they will take over that stadium. They will. Pittsburgh always does. Buffalo always does. Green Bay did last year. Dallas has always. Yeah.
I mean, it's worse now than it ever been. Like you said, the smart people are speaking up.
Yeah. And they're telling two friends, and they're telling two friends, and so on and so on. And it's just it's taken off. And you got a Thursday night game against New England, and then you don't play again until the opener, which is September 13th.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Browns are lucky, and I say this facetiously because it's going to be 150 degrees in Florida the first 2 weeks of the regular season. The Browns are lucky they open up on the road for the first 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely.
They're lucky.
And they come back 0-2. How do you think that's going to go?
You think they pulled Deshaun for the home opener? They don't want to run him out there.
I would think you almost have to pull him.
But then you throw Shador in there, and then, what if things go? I can't wait. I can't wait for this.
I'm waiting for the little clown car to come out and all 80 clowns to come out, because this is such a circus right now.
It is. They got nothing on Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. They got nothing on them.
Absolutely not.
Al, always a pleasure. Good stuff today, man. Have a great rest of the day.
You, buddy. Take care.
You got it. 55 minutes past the hour. It sounded like Al's dog was starting to get irritated there at the end. We're going to take a break. 330-821-1310. More on the Deshaun Watson being named the Browns starting quarterback. What do we do with Shador? Is he ever going to get a chance? Will he get a chance? Get your comments in, social media, YouTube, text. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Kristen Bell. As a mom, I want my kids to have full bellies, big dreams, and all the energy in the world to chase them. That is what I want for all kids. But right now, millions of kids in America are living with hunger. That means too many children are going without the meals they need to thrive. And that's just not okay. But the good news is this is a problem that we can all solve. No Kid Hungry works every day in schools, in communities, and during the summertime to make sure kids have healthy meals all year round. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. So let's do this. Let's give all the kids the chance to grow up healthy and strong.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Music and intelligence for your life.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room. Join me for Music and Intelligence for Your Life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
You heard it on the John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them, epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
AM 1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. We got a couple of minutes before we get you to the top of the hour. 330-821-1310. Text line is open. Q92 Radio YouTube channel is open as well. You can get us on Facebook, on X, YouTube. We're all there. We're all over the place. We're ready to go. We're with you Monday through Friday, 3 until 6, right here on AM 1310 WDPN.
Doesn't that song just get you so amped up?
I got to be 100% honest with you. I was locked in on X, and I really don't know what song was playing.
It was Linkin Park. I played Numb.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm a big Linkin Park guy. So I get zoned in. Even though I got these headphones turned up all the way, I couldn't tell you what song was on.
I can match that, because at the beginning of the show, you said the poll question, and I had to double check and make sure that you actually said the right poll question, because I thought I misheard it.
Yeah, poll question today. Now with Deshaun Watson being named the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, how many games will they win? How many games will they win? Thursday night, I want to remind everybody, our first Walsh University football game here on AM 1310 WDPN and the Q92 YouTube channel, as Walsh will be on the road at West Liberty. Kickoff at 7 o'clock this Thursday. You can catch the game here, AM 1310 WDPN, Q92radiosports.com, and the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Best of luck to Coach John Fankhauser and the Walsh Cavaliers as they open up the season this Thursday at 7 p.m. at West Lib. We are working through some stuff, I believe, at least for the first week. Coach Fankhauser from Walsh is going to join us, and I think we're going to do like a 5:35 with Coach on Wednesday. Got to put the finishing touches on that. We've been kind of trying to work that out amongst us, and I think we're going to end up going with that. And have Coach on at least one day a week throughout the season. We'll be getting ready for Mount Union football here in the not too distant future. Working on getting Jeff Dart back on again this year. Hopefully his old spot will work this year as it did last year. Been working with Nate and the folks over at Mount, and we're trying to get that all set. We're all squared away with Ross Benjamin from wagertalk.com. He's in. He's going to be on Fridays this year as opposed to Thursdays. We got Drew Sarakman on every Thursday. We might have to move times around there a little bit. We got lots of stuff cooking. All right. We got a big bowl. We got a little bit of water. We got some ingredients, and we're cooking. And we're trying to get everything all squared away and finalized here sooner than later. But it's going to be a fun football season, high school, college, pro. Can't wait to enjoy it with all of you, and hopefully you feel the same. All right, we'll take a break. News and weather coming up. One more big hour to go on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310, WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A growing trade war between the U.S. and Canada brewing after talks collapsed. ABC's Rachel Scott says American and Canadian consumers, though, could end up paying the biggest price.
President Trump has now imposed a 50% tariff on $20 billion of Canadian goods. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says President Trump cannot be trusted.
President Trump is the type of person that would steal your lunch money the first day. He'd steal the toque off your head the second day. And the third day, he'd steal your running shoes.
Starting September 8th, Canada will impose a 50% tariff on U.S. goods. Everything from steel and dairy and clothes to plywood, alcohol, and electronics.
The U.S. announcing today countries doing business with Iran will face secondary sanctions. Iran responding, saying it will not change the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Louisiana's National Guard members have completed their 8-month-long service in New Orleans as part of the Trump administration's security mission on U.S. cities. This is ABC News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earned from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code PROGRAM25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROGRAM25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROGRAM25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. Stark County Sheriff's Office says the Jackson Township massage business was being operated to facilitate sexual activity for hire. 55-year-old Aiju Chen of Brooklyn, New York, was arrested Friday and arraigned in Massillon Municipal Court today. Chen allegedly operated and managed Jaili Spa. She's charged with promoting prostitution. A preliminary hearing scheduled for next Monday. Case against 4 suspects in a Canton double homicide now headed to the Stark County grand jury as a 5th person faces new charges. Melissa Terrell, Emily Ryder of Canton waived their preliminary hearings Friday. Terrell faces aggravated arson, tampering with evidence, and obstructing justice charges. Ryder charged with obstructing justice. Darrell Washington and Eric Lamar of Canton waived their preliminary hearings Tuesday. Washington charged with aggravated murder and aggravated arson. Lamar charged with aggravated arson, obstructing justice, and tampering with evidence. Savannah Davis was arrested Friday on 4 charges, including aggravated arson and gross abuse of a corpse. Katina Spells of Canton and Courtney Yeager of Massillon were found dead in a burning apartment August 9th. New owners of a foreclosed Massillon home made a grim discovery when they found a man's body inside. Police were called Thursday to the 800 block of Milburn Road Northeast. Victim identified as 76-year-old Steve Bartusek, the former homeowner. The county coroner's office says it's unclear how long he had been dead. Police say Bartusek appears to have died of natural causes. 2 loaded firearms and a toddler were involved in a police pursuit that led to the arrest of a North Canton man. 28-year-old Donovan McDonald was arraigned in Massillon Municipal Court today. Bond set at $10,000. Preliminary hearing set for next Monday. He faces charges including child endangerment, fleeing police, and having weapons under disability. Police allege McDonald fled from officers Friday morning, reaching speeds of about 80 miles an hour with his young son in the vehicle. Perry police later spotted a suspicious vehicle near Roford Avenue and Buckwalter Drive Southwest and held McDonald for Massillon officers. Canton man told police he had had too much to drink before allegedly fleeing officers and crashing into a home. 47-year-old Jerry Dotson is accused of driving erratically on Market Avenue North Thursday night. Officers say Dotson lost control while fleeing police, crashing into a home and utility pole in the 2600 block. Dotson arraigned today in municipal court. He faces OVI, failure to comply, and criminal damaging charges. A pretrial hearing scheduled for next Monday. Sebring police chase ended in a crash Wednesday afternoon after a suspect almost rammed a squad car and downed live utility wires. Officers say they tried to pull over 45-year-old James George for a license plate violation. George fled at speeds of 70 miles an hour, running stop signs before crashing his pickup into a utility pole in the 800 block of South Mahoning Avenue in Alliance. Police had to break George's window and deploy tasers to force him out of the truck. He was arraigned Thursday in Mahoning County Court on charges including fleeing and eluding. He's slated to return September 10th for a preliminary hearing. Massillon will have a new safety service director, with Mayor Jamie Slutz planning a change in leadership. Retired Massillon Police Detective David McConnell expected to take over in October. The Independent reports Lori Kotagides-Boron is serving as interim director after Renee Baker left her active duties August 13th. Baker had served as safety service director nearly 3 years. Her resignation is effective September 8th. Police still investigating a deadly head-on crash involving a semi in Streetsboro. 29-year-old Andrew Glantz of Kent was killed shortly before 2:30 Saturday morning on Route 43. Police say his car crossed the center line and hit a northbound semi. The 55-year-old from Akron driving the truck was not seriously hurt. Man is jailed on $400,000 bond after being indicted on sex charges involving 2 teenage girls. The Portage County grand jury charged 41-year-old Kevin New of Freedom Township with 2 counts each of rape and sexual battery. He was arraigned Friday in common pleas court. The indictment alleges the offenses occurred from August 2022 through August of 2025. The rape charges involve a girl who was 13 to 16 at the time. The sexual battery charges involve a second girl who was between 15 and 18. Police have arrested a man after a 46-year-old woman died of an apparent overdose in Latonia. 48-year-old Joseph Bradford of Salem charged with obstructing official business. Police say he failed to tell officers another woman who was high on drugs was unconscious in his truck. Death reported Thursday in the 300 block of Columbia Street, being investigated as suspicious. A Columbiana County judge has issued a bench warrant for a Boardman area contractor accused of violating probation. 43-year-old John Bartos failed to appear Friday for a hearing in common pleas court. Bartos was previously convicted of stealing client money for home improvement work he did not complete. His attorney is asked to withdraw from the case. 72 degrees at 5:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
We've got a lot of sunshine and blue skies coming our way through your Monday afternoon. Our high in the lower 70s. Overnight, fall-like feel. Partly cloudy, our low 55. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Well, how about that? Up the alley. Quan all the way to third. He might keep going.
Oh, yeah.
It gets by the center fielder. Quan will score. DeLauder's going to keep going. He's digging for 3. He'll go in standing with an RBI triple, and it's 1-0 Guardian.
Christian Peters smokes this one to center field. It is Ewing backing up at the wall. It is gone! Tristan Peters walks it off in the 9th.
Swing and a fly ball, center field. Going back is Church. Back toward the wall. It is over! Off the batter's eye. Kyle Schwarber has just completed an improbable comeback.
On first down, he hands it off to Wright from a big hole. And Wright will take it all the way for a Seahawks touchdown. 69 yards.
Cleveland Browns have named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. The Guardians get a sweep over the weekend in Colorado. They're off to Anaheim. And week one of the high school football season is in the books. Welcome into the Sam Bourquin Show, everybody. Good to be with you. Thanks for hanging out with us today here on 1310 WDPN. Our phone lines are wide open. Telephone 330-821-1310. Q92 Radio YouTube. The chat room is open. It has been on fire today. Keep those comments coming in. We love the interaction that you have with us and vice versa. Monday through Friday from 3 until 6 right here on 1310 WDPN and all of our social media platforms. WDPN on X, Facebook, Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We are everywhere. We appreciate you joining us not only today, but every day during the week, every day during the year. Our high school basketball coverage, our high school football coverage, our softball coverage, our Mount Union games. We're going to be kicking off our coverage with Walsh University football this Thursday. Our high school baseball, softball. We're gonna keep it rolling here, and we hope you're enjoying what we're doing. Got a lot of great feedback. I know Rainsburg, you did as well. I know Christian did. I know Keller did. A lot of people really excited, really happy with our high school football coverage. Over the Thursday and Friday night with our game broadcast, our social media, with our interviews, our highlights, our photos, our pictures, our videos. The Q92radiosports.com features this year, giving you instant stats. They're giving you rosters for both teams. They're recapping scoring drives. I heard a lot of great things about it, and it's only week one. So what? Just like the games, just like the players, the biggest week of improvement is between weeks 1 and week 2. And we're going to improve. We're going to get better. I thought we were pretty good over the weekend. We're going to get better, and we're going to get better. And you're going to enjoy it more, and you're going to say, hey, you know what? I got to have this. I got to have this coverage on 1310 and Q92. And I legitimately heard a lot of great comments about it, and was happy to hear that, and glad everybody is enjoying it. And we're looking forward to week 2 coming up. Absolutely looking forward to week 2. And we'll start to run down those schedules. We already have got a couple of posts up on the Q92 Sports Facebook page and X page, our high school football schedule for this week coming up. We're back to our 7 games on Friday, 1 on AM, 1 on FM, and 5 stream. We'll be telling you all about that as we move along.
Actually, if anybody is extremely curious and has to know right now, you can go to the Q92 YouTube page, and every game that we will have this week is right there, scheduled for the time that it starts and ready to go.
All ready to go. So you can kind of plan your, you got to plan it out. Let's see here. Sam, it took me a while to scroll down to the end of the comments on YouTube today. Sorry, it's a slow news day. LOL.
Christian checking in.
Yeah, a little slow today there, Christian. Little slow today.
Dan on Facebook is checking in with, I would call a controversial opinion. He says 4 games if Watson is the QB. Thinks they're going to win 4 this year. He's going a little higher than everybody else.
I got him at 3. I got the Browns. I had them at 5. And maybe this was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction on my part, which I try not to do.
I put them at 3.
But I got them at 3.
I'm feeling confident about my 3. I have for a while.
What I heard, what I saw over the weekend, and what I continued to observe.
What I'm showing on the screen right now.
3.
That's Deshaun Watson throwing a pass.
3 and 14. That's it. That's where it's going to be.
It's unfortunate, but they need that 3.
So it'll give us all much more time to work on our yards during the fall, get it ready for the winter, get out and take some nice long walks, maybe, take a nice little ride out in the country somewhere, go to the pumpkin patch, maybe go to a beer festival, spend time with friends, lots of stuff you can do on Sunday. Hey, look here. When the Browns were gone from 95, after 95 up until 99, we all survived, didn't we? Didn't we all survive?
Yeah, tell the younger people who are here what you guys do without the Browns.
We were fine. we found other things to do. Now, We still watched NFL. I think a lot more people started to gamble on the NFL.
That's where it started.
And people found other things to do. Look, I'm not saying I want the team to move. I'm not. Please don't misconstrue that. But when they're bad, and you don't have to sit there and watch them. You don't have to sit there and listen to them. You don't. You get choice. It's a great thing about you. Do what you want. Now, I unfortunately have to watch because I can't come on here on Monday and talk about it if I don't watch it. And I watch the recaps. I watch the highlights. I watch the press conferences. I listen to the press conferences. I dive into the stats. I look at all that stuff. But you don't have to do that. I mean, how many times do you go back to a restaurant after getting a bad dinner or a bad lunch? How many times do you go back? You just keep going back because, this is great. That food sucked. Can't wait to come back here again.
All right, look, I'll be honest here. It depends on A, how much it sucked, and B, how cheap it was. If it was extremely cheap and only sucked a little bit, I might give it one more shot.
Well, okay. I'm glad you brought that comparison up because guess what? The Browns aren't cheap. They're not inexpensive to watch, to eat there, to buy shirts and hats and programs. It's not cheap. Okay? And you ain't seen nothing yet until they open up the Brook Park place.
Oh, God.
All right.
We can't even
begin. But that's a conversation for another day. But all I'm saying is, this is a 3-win football team. And I'm not going to tell everybody or anybody how to spend their Sunday afternoon. Who am I to do that? Right? Like I said, free will. You guys can watch. Girls, watch what you want. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is. I want your thoughts on the Browns naming I almost said it. Deshaun, the starting quarterback. And your level of, I'm not going to use the word hatred. That's not right.
Disdain?
But maybe your level of disdain, your level of
perturbedness
with Deshaun. Does it still ride with all of the off-field things, or is it more of how he has performed on the field, or is it the combination of both? Or as Ben Axelrod said, maybe it's just you can't separate it.
Look, I'll be honest. I've only recently today learned about the extent of Watson's off the field extracurriculars.
You're kidding me.
And that's enough. I knew that he had done some bad things. I heard you guys mention that before, but I didn't really know what it was all about. So
hey, look here. Google Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I think I will.
Masseuses or lawsuits. And that'll give you enough reading material until midnight.
Yeah, and just the quick rundown you gave me, that's a pretty good reason to not be a huge fan of the guy in and of itself.
Yeah. And then there's the thought, people, if he would have come in and played really, really, really well and earned every dollar of his contract, then people would not have cared about that stuff. They would have let it slide as long as he was winning. And that's kind of crappy, but that's kind of how we are a little bit. We'll overlook that as long as you're winning games. But as soon as you screw up and you throw an interception or you blow a game or you lose 5 in a row, now we're going to hold this stuff against you. But as long as you're winning and you did all that bad stuff, it's okay. Again, to me, that's kind of crap.
Yeah, not in my book.
That's wrong, but that's the society.
That's the NFL.
Especially the NFL.
Yeah.
So, because you can't dent the almighty shield. The shield always wins. Okay? And it's always been that way. No matter what happens, no matter what happens to their players, no matter what the owners do, no matter how much they charge, no matter how many streaming services now you have to pay for, no matter anything, the NFL, you can't dent the shield. You can't do it. They take on all comers. They've been through a lot. A lot of it they brought upon themselves. People still watch. They still invest, and they do it in record numbers now more than they ever have. And I'm just kind of stating the fact there.
Hall of Fame City checking in says, this shouldn't be a surprise. As we both said early on, Watson's best game was versus Baltimore, where Monken came from.
Deshaun Watson is done. He's washed.
Yep.
He is no longer a good quarterback.
He's washed. I have a clip for that.
And it'll all play out. It'll all play out. If you're watching on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel, or if you're not, go there right now.
You'll see the washed.
And you'll see how washed he is after watching one of his passes today in practice up at Berea. We're rolling the video right now.
Just throws
look
it at nothing.
Look at that.
There's nothing there.
Oh, Sam, that's just one pass. You just picked out. Really? That should really happen, a $250 million man?
Look, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. People have been showing me clips of Deshaun Watson since last week on Twitter of him throwing passes.
Yeah, this isn't the first one. I have
not seen a good one yet.
This isn't the first one.
No, he threw that helicopter pass last week that I thought was so cool because it looked like helicopter blade spinning. Yeah. But I know that's not correct.
And it's not supposed to be like
that. No,
that.
it's not. That's the wrong kind of spiral.
Going back to Saturday, again, the score doesn't matter. The one loss doesn't matter. But I want to read you the stats and how misleading and or leading that these statistics are. Shedeur Sanders, 9 of 11, 74 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 1 sack. Deshaun Watson, 5 of 12, 36 yards, 1 interception. Dylan Gabriel, 0 of 1, hardly played at all. Again, preseason, the real game that week was the joint practice on Thursday. But if you just look at what happened on Saturday, you think, ooh, Shedeur, 9 of 11, 74 yards. Oh, got a touchdown. Okay. Look at the entire body of work. Look at the entire body of work for Deshaun. And Dylan Gabriel, it's just not a very good quarterback room, and that's it. But I want your thoughts on the Browns naming Deshaun the starting quarterback. Who do you think made that decision? Was it Monken? Is I can't believe I'm going to say this already. Is Todd Monken already taking over the role of puppet in the Browns organization? Is it happening already?
I mean, what else is he to do with this team?
Did he take this job because he was so desperate to get a head coaching job in the NFL? He never had one before. Was he willing to do whatever it takes to keep that paycheck coming in? I can't believe I'm saying this at the end of August. Maybe it's true. Jimmy says, Todd, just go along with me. Just follow me. I'll make the decisions. You just sit there. I'll get that check to you every 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I'll cover you. I got your back. I'd hate to believe that's happening already, but it could be. Who knows?
Whoa, fun one here. Richard checking in says Browns plus 7.5 week 1 and minus 5.5 in week 2. Hammer that week 2 at TB.
I was having a little fun on Twitter today with my buddy Nick Camino from Channel 3. He put something out about the point spread for the Browns opener against the Jags. We were having a little fun with that. Yeah, Jacksonville's are. Did I say Jacksonville?
You said Jags, then Jacksonville.
Do I mean Jacksonville, right?
Okay,
yeah. They're 7.5. Tampa Bay is week 2. That's at 5.5. Again, a lot of things could change there, but I told Nick, I said Vegas knew 2 weeks ago that Deshaun was going to be the starting quarterback.
Oh, for sure.
They knew 2 weeks ago. Probably longer than that.
Yeah.
Because that line didn't it didn't move. It's been at 7.5 for a month. Didn't move. People knew. Vegas knew. The sharps knew. That line wasn't going to move. Now, the bettors might move it a little bit. But, yeah, everybody kind of knew what the story was going to be. It is kind of a shame that we're in this position again with this football team, this franchise. The reputation of the Cleveland Browns all over the landscape of the NFL, all over the sports world, it's at its lowest it's ever been. It's lowest it's ever been. We'll take a break. 26 minutes past the hour. 330-821-1310. Keep those comments coming on social media. We'll step away. We'll come back. We'll get you ready for a little On This Day in Sports History. Well, we got some good audio for you today. Stay with us.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Dad's going to be far side. Good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do the wiggles. Slate's coming in. What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
1310 WDPN. It's that time. You hear the music. What does it mean? It means it's time for On This Day in Sports History. Monday through Friday at 5:29 here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Not a lot to read to you today, but we've got some great audio. 1975, Davey Lopes of the LA Dodgers set a Major League record when he stole his 38th consecutive base. That's pretty good. On this day in 2007, the NFL suspended quarterback Michael Vick of the Falcons for involvement in the dog fighting ring. All right, audio today. 2002. Indians are at home, and there's a batter at the plate by the name of Kareem Garcia. Anybody remember Kareem Garcia? Well, this was a big day for him.
He swings, drives it to right field. Ichiro is back. Goodbye.
Run to beat the Mariners on this day in 2002. And this one's funny. 37 years ago, on this day, 1989, the Dodgers and the Expos were playing at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Montreal had one of the most fascinating, lovable mascots, and he went by the name of Yumi. Well, Tommy Lasorda didn't like Yumi hanging around the Dodger playing area. He didn't like him sitting on top of the dugout. And the rest is history.
Time is called. They want Yuppie off the Dodger dugout. He's bugging the Dodger players, and Tom Lasorda is out. And third base umpire Bob Davidson is throwing Yuppie out of the ball game. He wants him off the Dodger dugout. Tommy Lasorda has put up a complaint. This will draw the ire of the fans. And they want Buck Rogers out to get Yuppie out of there. Buck is sitting down. Here comes Davidson running over, and Buck's going to make Davidson come over and say, what do you, or no, they're calling somebody from security over.
They're going to call security and remove him from the ballpark.
Wow. We've seen it all now, huh? Yuppie's been thrown out of the game, off the Dodgers dugout.
He's got his like a nightgown on and a nightcap. He's got a couple of pillows. He just got a hang on top of the Dodger dugout. Lasorda came out and said, get this guy out of here. And they threw him out of the game. You could hear all the people booing at Olympic Stadium. Poor Yuppie. No longer with us as the mascot of the Expos is now they are known as the Washington Nationals. That is on this day in sports history. We'll take a break and come back with more of the Sam Bourquin Show. Stay with us.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. Iran's currency hit a record low Monday as Washington prepared to announce new sanctions to add further pressure on an economy already battered by previous sanctions and a U.S. naval blockade. The rial dropped to 2.02 million to the U.S. dollar as trading opened on informal currency markets. It had already been under pressure before the U.S. and Israel attacked on February 28th with double-digit inflation and negative growth, but 6 months of war have taken a greater toll. Last week, the United Arab Emirates announced it would suspend all trade with Iran. The UAE has long been one of the country's largest trading partners and its biggest source of imports, as well as a major re-export and financial hub for Iranian businesses. Family of a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee was stabbed to death in North Carolina has filed suit against the city of Charlotte and hired parties. Suit claims the city and professional police services, contracted by the Charlotte Area Transit System, were aware of violent crime issues on the city's Lynx Blue Line, but failed to take reasonable safety measures. Irina Zarutska was killed August 22, 2025, minutes after taking a seat on a train in front of the man later seen on video attacking her. Her family said she'd recently fled Ukraine and settled in Charlotte. In June, a federal judge deemed DeCarlos Brown incompetent to stand trial. The 34-year-old, who had a long criminal history and had previously been committed for schizophrenia, was sent to a federal facility for up to 4 months in an attempt to restore competency. Beginning August 11th, several days of powerful storms walloped northwest Indiana, killing at least 7 and displacing about 1,000. The storms brought record rainfall that flooded several communities. In Gary, Indiana, the storm knocked out electricity for more than half the city's residents. As of Sunday morning, 2 weeks after the first storms, just over 28,000 customers of the Northern Indiana Public Service Company were still without power. On Thursday, Indiana Governor Mike Braun requested an expedited major disaster declaration from FEMA for 54 counties. He estimates losses from the storm and its aftermath could top $5 billion. Many Gary residents have been relying on a community center for hot meals, air conditioning, and a chance to charge their phones. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill Saturday adding immigration support workers to the California program that hides the home addresses of people deemed at risk. The program already covers domestic violence survivors, elder abuse victims, and reproductive and sex change workers. State Assemblyman Carl DeMaio dubbed it the Stop Nick Shirley Act, framing it as a Democrat effort to prevent exposing fraud such as daycare centers run by Somali migrants. DeMaio said the bill would allow activists and taxpayer-funded organizations to demand the removal of video evidence, even if it captures misconduct in plain view, and threatens journalists with massive financial penalties. Terry Shantz, chief of staff to Democratic Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon, is facing multiple formal complaints after he barged into a Thursday interview outside the California Capitol and launched a crude personal attack on Shirley. 72 degrees at 5:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Afternoon highs today around 72 degrees, a west wind of 15 miles per hour, a little coolness in the air, mainly sunny, low humidity. Overnight, partly cloudy skies on the way with a low of 55. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Oh, I hear this song. What do I think about? Mount Union softball. Right? This was their theme song last year when they made a run all the way to the Division III College World Series. They had a little choreographed dance that really took off. So we thought we'd pop that on here for you today. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. AM 1310 WDPN, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Check me out, Sam Bourquin 16 on X, on Instagram, and TikTok. That's Sam Bourquin 16.
Should I tell you what the name of the song is then?
Give me a hint because it's driving me nuts. I know it's a one-word title.
Yeah, it's a one-word, and it's...
Styling?
No.
Look at my arm. Bending.
I'm flexing.
Is it flexing?
It's flex.
Okay.
It's just called flex.
Oh my God.
I got everybody.
I'm so bad at
I just put my arm up above my head over the glass here, just bent it.
I almost said curling. I didn't know. Like you're curling a 40. I have no idea.
I mean, let's be fair here. I do not have any muscles to flex. So how are you supposed to know it was a flex?
That's
totally fair.
That's true. But you know what? For those who are just listening on radio, Brainsburg, you could be 6'4", 230 pounds.
Yeah.
And nobody would know the difference.
They wouldn't know I'm a twig.
I'm not much better.
Hey, it's okay.
330-821-1310. Q92radiosports.com YouTube channel. The chat is open and rolling. Don't forget, we got Walsh University football makes its debut on 1310 WDPN and Q92 Thursday night as the Cavs are on the road to take on West Liberty. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Catch the game on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel, Q92radiosports.com, and right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Swords up. All right. Mount Union, September the 5th, their opener at Wheaton. That'll be here before you know it. Looking forward to catching up with Coach John Fankhauser of the Cavaliers all season long, Coach Jeff Dart of the University of Mount Union Purple Raiders all season long. We're excited for both teams and hopefully a nice long season for the Purple Raiders and the Cavaliers. If you've been under a rock all day, Deshaun Watson has been named the official starter for the Cleveland Browns. Lively discussion with that today. Todd Monken coming up. Guardians finished off a sweep of the Rockies in Colorado over the weekend. They're now 3.5 out. Here they come. Here come the fighting votes. They're 3.5 out behind the White Sox. Guards will be in Anaheim tonight. The White Sox are home against Texas. And, of course, high school football week 1 is in the books. We kind of knew what we knew a little bit before the game started. Maslin, very good. McKinley was good, although Warren Harding, I think, is going to struggle all year, to be honest with you. Pups will be at St. Ed's coming up this Friday night. Lake looked decent. I thought Perry looked good. Northwest defense shut out Alliance. I couldn't believe that.
Alliance got shut out completely?
Yeah, 16-0. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think you'll see that again either.
No, probably.
I don't think you'll see that again this year. But some teams played well. Fairless played well. We had them on Thursday night. Jackson, I thought, played pretty well. Hoover played well, but I don't know how many games Buchtel's going to win this year. So it was an interesting week 1, and we got a long way to go. A lot more games coming your way here between WDPN and Q92. And don't forget, go back and look at the first of all, if you want to go back and listen to the games, if you want to listen to a quarter, a couple of drives, you want to hear a certain score, those are all up. Every game that we covered is on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Just go try to find your game there and click it. You can go back and listen to it anytime for free, okay? If you want to go back and see some videos, some coaches' interviews, some highlights, those are up on our Facebook page, our X page, Instagram, Q92 Sports, 1310 WDPN. You can go back and check that out anytime that you wish.
Or now, maybe if you're a bit of a numbers person and you just want to see it by the numbers, you can go to Q92radiosports.com. And if you go to scores and check last week, we have every game that was played last week on here, even if we didn't broadcast it.
Everyone.
Yep. I'm looking at it right now.
Stats. And I mean, it's
I'm seeing
scoring drives,
Wayndale, Tuscarawas,
everything.
Caldwell, Buckeye Trail, Rocky River, Manchester, Green Indian Valley. You want it, we got it.
That's right. Q92 radiosports.com. And don't forget about the YouTube channel as well. It was fun Thursday and Friday. And we had a couple bugs we had to work out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool. I had your game that I was running up on the FM, and then in the next window I had that, and I was just kind of watching it go as the game went. So
Very
pretty cool.
Busy. It was a busy Thursday and Friday. It was really busy. And then, of course, we got Walsh coming Thursday. Mount begins on the 5th. We'll be following Ohio State, obviously, Akron, Kent, the OAC, the Big Ten. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but we got you covered. All right. Browns made their decision today. Deshaun's going to be the starter. Fan base is angry. They're probably not going to win a lot of games. They are focused on the draft. Preseason game 3, the third and final, is Thursday night against New England at home. But you'll probably just see Dylan Gabriel and Taylon Green as the quarterbacks on Thursday night, because this is basically a kind of a meaningless preseason game, if you will. And then the 13th, they'll strap it up and they'll go down to Florida and they'll play Jacksonville, and Deshaun will be the starter. Head coach Todd Monken said yesterday he would name a starting quarterback today. It came a little earlier than we thought. They made the announcement around 10 a.m. Most thought it was going to be about noon, but he made the announcement, and here's what it sounded like. Here was some of the Q&A. Todd Monken at the podium earlier today in Berea as they announced the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Big crowd today. All right. Fire away. Why? What's new? Deshaun is going to start against Jacksonville. Took in the full body of work over the course of off-season to training camp to the games, the joint practice, and ultimately felt like to start the season on the road, Deshaun gave us the best chance to move the ball and score points. I mean, that's really what it's about. And felt that way going in the last game, but wasn't sure. And after we talked as a staff and after we re-looked at everything, we're going to go that direction.
Is this a week-by-week thing? Or
No, we're not anticipating this being a week-by-week thing. Again, I think Shedeur has done a great job, come a long ways, and we're excited about his future. But this is not a week-to-week decision.
Was it hard making that decision between Watson and Sam?
For sure. I mean, any decision where it's so close, right? Both guys competing the rear ends off. And it is a hard decision, right? I mean, it's not a hard decision to start Jared Verse at defensive end, right? That's easy, right? But it's what we're paid to do, try to put the best players on the field that give us the best chance to score points and move the ball.
Is this a decision that feels like maybe you're flexible with changing if things don't go the way that maybe you anticipate early?
I don't anticipate that being the case, but that's what we do. This isn't that question is not a quarterback question. It is everybody's position, right? Every single week we have to prove it, right? That's what we do. As pros, we have to prove it every week. It doesn't matter what position. Ultimately, we expect him to play well, or we wouldn't be starting him.
It feels like is there something that Deshaun did specifically to separate himself from Shedeur?
I wouldn't say anything specific. I would not say that. Again, just on the road, operation, right? Our ability to function. And again, it was close. I mean, like I said, I feel really good about both quarterbacks. I do.
So if it's that close, Todd, I think there's a line of thinking that says, why not go with the younger guy that might have a brighter future? So I guess what was keeping Shedeur from getting this job? Did it come down to that operation?
Some of it was that. There's a number of things I'm not going to get into, but ultimately we felt over the course of training camp and the offseason that he was ahead of Shedeur. Shedeur's closed that gap, I mean, for sure. And that's a credit to him. And we look forward to, again, Shedeur continuing to grow as a player. But ultimately, we're about week one. That's all it's about is week one, putting our best foot forward over the next 3 weeks. As I said the other day, we're only halfway through training camp. Still have this week, got next week, got the whole game prep for Jacksonville. We really haven't game planned anybody in the preseason. So our ability to game plan and get ready for Jacksonville I'm looking forward to it.
When you talk about on the road, do you mean the challenges a road game presents, or
100%.
staying away from the home fans?
No, I mean, what a challenge is of being on the road. I'm just worried about the first game. I mean, it's really about being on the road, operation, silent cadence, right? Opening the season. Just felt like that was the right way to go. And that wasn't the only criteria. It was just a piece of it.
No one really seemed to run away with this quarterback competition. It just felt like it was uneven throughout. What, for those that don't understand the football decision to start Deshaun, what are they missing that you see that those folks aren't seeing?
Well, again, it's the day-to-day. What they're not seeing is the film. They're not in our building. So they're not going to know what we know. Now, you can see with your own eyes, right? You can forecast what you expect it to be, right? A number of those people weren't even at practice. So I don't really concern myself with what they really think. I know what we think and what we see every day in our building and our players and the momentum we have, and we're 100% behind Deshaun.
How much did you take into account the fact that the fan base really is not in Deshaun's corner and that they seem to love Shedeur? Did this come up in the discussions at all for you guys?
Absolutely not. Zero. There was nothing to do with that. I mean, ultimately, the fans want us to win. I mean, ultimately, put a good product on the field. That's really what they want, okay? And so that's our job as coaches, why we're hired, to try and put the best product on the field. And when we don't, then I understand their frustration. But ultimately, they don't decide who plays. I mean, who would I be if I let someone outside of the building decide who plays?
Todd, I know you said that press conference from Saturday from Deshaun wasn't going to factor into the decision, and I know you talked about how important mental toughness is in quarterbacks. So looking at the entire body of work, what makes you confident that he has that part of it for you guys right now?
Well, I said it yesterday, like he bleeds like we bleed. 22 months of working to get back, giving himself another opportunity for the Browns, okay? So that I respect. And sure, was he hurt? Yes. But I also said yesterday, okay, I don't like being booed either. I don't like when we jump off sides 3 times at the end of the game, okay? But we earned that, right? We earn our respect by how we play. We earn our fans, right, in terms of appreciation of the product we put on the field, and that's our job. So on one side, I 100% understand where Deshaun is coming from, but ultimately, we're pros. I mean, we got to put on a good product, and we got to play. You got to pull your big boy pants up and let's go play.
Todd, about how Shedeur's gotten better as the offseason's kind of gone on. What was the conversation kind of like with him about the decision, and what was kind of your message to him?
He was awesome. I mean, you talk about somebody that really understands the long game, that really, I think, has come to understand the long game, right? What are we really in this for? What am I in it for? To have the Browns be an organization that people aspire to be, right? The long game, right? Where do we want to be in the long term, right? Whatever that, and he understands that as well as a quarterback, right? Where he was at, where he's at now, where he wants to get to. That is what's so awesome about Shedeur understanding that. Really, he does. We met this morning for a good long time, and all he had was a smile on his face because he understands what really is in front of him, not really a short-term, maybe long-term decision. I mean, this is like a player, like he's going to work his butt off to get better, and he has already.
Can you say, did you inform the quarterback privately or as a team?
Oh, it was privately. I met with Deshaun, and then I met with Shedeur.
Did you then address the team?
I did not.
Todd, just with Shedeur, obviously Deshaun's going to get the lion's share of the practice reps as you work through the season. How do you work to get Shedeur reps in practice so that he can continue his own development, in case,
Well, that's a great point. I mean, we do have we have this week, a couple of days. We have a few days next week where we're still Browns on Browns. And then we'll turn our focus the back end of next week and the following week on Jacksonville. So we still have reps where we're running our offense, right? So that's where he'll get the development. The hardest part is, you are exactly right. Once we get into game week, Deshaun takes all the ones. So he's going to have to do a great job in individual, film study, and then when he gets opportunities to go against the defense, again, people run a lot of the same concepts, right? People run four verts, they run curl flat, they run flood concepts. That's no different what we run. So how are you going to play that out in your mind? What is that on the card that is exactly what we do, and then process and play it out like it's a real practice rep?
After the game Saturday, Deshaun Watson was asked, in relation to the response he got from the fans, he was asked if he could defeat the negativity, and he said, "I don't know." When you met with him, did you guys talk about that?
We did. We talked. I'll keep most of what we talked about private, okay? But the conversation was like, the way we make this go away is to play good football. Like, we got to own that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think, I asked him, hey, do you feel like you got that off your chest? Because you got to feel like you got that off your chest, right? And now what do? Let's move forward and work our rear end off at playing winning football. That's it. And you guys get a chance to talk to him. And again, it was at the moment. We all have those moments, okay? And we're going to see moving forward. I have gotten no indication over the 6 months that I've been here that he doesn't have the ability to bounce back as a player and compete as rear end. I have no indication of that.
That is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken, dealing with the media today, and he made the announcement early. You hear him, all right, here we go. Let's get it out of the way. He announced Deshaun as the starting quarterback, and, the floodgates kind of open. So that's where we're at. A lot of people have strong opinions. Strong opinions on Shedeur, strong opinions on Deshaun. I know one thing. I know one thing. Even the Shedeur and the Deshaun camp people are coming together and vehemently are disgusted with the Browns, disgusted with Jimmy Haslam, disgusted with the franchise, disgusted with everything about it. And they're letting them know. They're really letting them and showing them. And some are doing it with their wallet, which is something I have never seen in my life covering the Cleveland Browns, but it's happening. It's going to be a wild ride in 2026. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll kind of wrap things up here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
There's something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is.
1310 WDPN. We got a couple of minutes before we wrap things up today. Boy, a lot of stuff I didn't get to, but I knew I wouldn't because of the, the Browns starting quarterback announcement today, and just a lot of stuff going on. One thing I did wonder, did you see where the 49ers owner Jed York got into a little trouble over the weekend?
Oh, somebody commented about that. I'll find it while you talk.
He pleaded no contest today to 2 misdemeanor charges after his arrest in East Palestine, Ohio. Columbiana court records show that York's initial charge of engaging in prostitution was reduced to disorderly conduct and possessing criminal tools. So we know what he was doing. Don't be fooled by the reducing to other lighter charges. Okay? You know what he was doing. Ordered to serve 1 day in jail for each charge to be served concurrently, but was given 1 day of credit for time served. He also paid 2 fines totaling $1,150. Now, court records also showed that $160 seized shall be forfeited to the Mahoning Valley Human Trafficking Task Force. 49ers owner Jed York messing around with prostitutes in East Palestine, Ohio.
Scooter commented about that earlier. He said, just when you think the Browns had a bad PR day, there's that.
Holy smokes. How much time do I got? I got about a minute or so here. The Browns have waived tight end Daquan Wright, who has an agreement in place to play for LSU if he clears waivers in the NFL. Saints are signing free agent kicker Daniel Carlson, that according to Ian Rappaport. So that all going on also today in the NFL. What a show. What a wild, quick show. I'm sure it will be just as wild tomorrow.
Throwing that Deshaun pass in there one more time for everybody.
Yeah. If you're on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel, check it out. Look what our starting quarterback was doing today on the practice field after being named the starting quarterback. Yeah, that's our guy right there. Thanks to Rainsburg. Great job as usual. Thanks to all of you for commenting, texting, emailing, and following along. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel if you haven't done so. We will be back tomorrow at 3. We'll do it all over again right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Until then, and as always, go Bucks, go Browns, go Cavs, go Guards. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.